Welcome back to Chaos Child, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while. When we last left Takuru and Nono, we're about to have a good heart-to-heart discussing our relationship, where shit's going, and Nono, Onoe just popped up, which is probably a bad sign, and possibly a sign that either the plot's getting kicked off, or we're heading into the endgame of this route. Let's see where we go, shall we? A cold chill of terror ran down my spine, and I could feel myself start to sweat. I'd let my guard down. We had just started to think in the last scene or whatever, that last couple scenes, that maybe Sarika had just ditched and fled the country or something, and somehow she fucking turns up right beside our house. Damn. That's gotta be nerve-wracking. You think you're safe, you think you're not gonna get destroyed by your serial killer best friend, and she just shows up out of the freaking blue. Damn. Cops, what are you doing? She's still in the city. I'd thought that if I was lucky, I might never see her again. And I'd started to think maybe I would be that lucky. I never thought she'd just show up out of nowhere like that. You thought at least the cops would be able to keep her away or catch her first. Apparently she's smarter than that, though.
いい気なものだな、クルスノノ。
Sounds like you're having a good time, Nono Cruz.
セリカ、何をしに来たの?
Sarika, what are you doing here? Here to ruin my fun? Although we were just living the domestic life, so... You can't tell? You know, honestly, I don't know why you're here, unless you're here to murder one of us.
あなたみたいな人が考えることなんてわかるわけないわ。
How am I supposed to know what someone like you thinks? That's a very good question.
あなたみたいな人。
Someone like me?
まるで自分だけが宮代拓郎を大切にしている。そんな言い方だな。気に入らない。
You're talking as if you actually care about Takuru Miyashiro. I don't like that. Oh, okay.
私はあなたとは違う。拓郎のため、拓郎が望んでいるから、そんな理由をつけて拓郎を悲しませているあなたとは違うのよ。
I'm not like you. I wouldn't do something to make Takuru sad just because I thought he wanted it. I think she's trying to do what she thinks is best for us anyway. So if it turns out we don't like it, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you can say I'm not like you and specify, but I don't know about that. Nono is definitely lying about something. And whether or not it makes us sad because we think because she thinks that's the way we want her to feel, that's pretty hard to judge. It's not really something you can judge. You can't necessarily judge what someone else feels about something. I mean, you can make an educated guess, but... yeah, we'll see. I can almost see the invisible flames building up between them.
まあいい。聞きたいと言うなら教えてやろう。私がここに来たのは、
It doesn't matter.
お前からもらったものを返してやるためだ。
If you want answers, I'll give them to you. I'm here to give you back what you gave me. Sarika laughed in twisted glee. Alright. That wasn't the Sarika I knew. The naive, ditzy girl that was always by my side was gone now.
もらったもの？何のことかわからないけれど、その必要はないわ。持って帰ってくれて結構よ。
I don't know what you're talking about, but there's no need for that. You can just go home.
おお、ずいぶんと気前がいいんだな。だが、そういうわけにはいかない。
That's awfully nice of you, but I'm afraid that's just not possible.
あいにく、やられたことはき
Cops
ち
are
んと
probably
や
still
り
watching
返
her
す
house.
主義でね。
Maybe just one guy, but still. Whenever someone does something to me, I like to do it back. Didn't you kill 20? Didn't you kill 10 people? How many people killed you? Or me, if you're doing it for me. It's kind of weird. Alright, someone does something to you, like to do it back. Alright, so what did we do to you? Do something to her? Yeah, what the heck did we do?
気をつけろ、ノノ。尾上は報復するつもりだ。
Watch out, Nono. Oh no, it's after revenge. Obviously, and presumably it's against one of you two, but... yeah. I think she could have come to that conclusion herself, right?
報復？そう。つまり、
She's
あなたは拓郎を取られた復讐に来たってわけね。でも。
Revenge? Oh, I see. You're here because you want revenge for my taking Takuru, but... Nono pulled her D-sword from the void and readied it in front of Sarika's face. Didn't you lose this confrontation last time? Sort of. It was like a 2v1, but you definitely weren't winning this fight. And you haven't been, unless you've been practicing, Sarika might be better than you. Sarika didn't move a muscle, she just kept smiling. Oh, you're awfully bloodthirsty. Is that who you really are?
いいか、復讐というのは何も力によってのみ遂行されるものじゃない。
Listen, revenge doesn't have to come by force.
どういう意
What do
味
you mean?
例えば、お前が必死になって隠していること、宮代拓が知ったらどう思うかな。
For example, what if Takuru Miyashiro found out the thing you're so desperately trying to hide? What was she trying? She was trying to hide? Nono was hiding something from me? How do we? Oh yeah, it's Takura, never mind. I was gonna say, how do we not know? But she just told me to believe her. It's back to her fun face.
タクはまだ知らないみたいだから教えてあげなきゃね。
Taku doesn't know yet, so I guess I have to tell him.
やめて。
Up. OP. Sarika's OP? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
ねえ、聞いて、タク。その女、クルスノノはね。
Listen, Taku, that girl, Nono Karus is... What do I think she is? Stop it! Nono's D-sword flashed down at Sarika's head. Seriously, Nono? This is where you're going? Okay. Alright, let's finish the sentence. Nono is what? What is Nono that she wants to stab someone to keep secret? She's a killer. She was experimented on at the hospital. What could we guess? She's not actually Nono? I mean, Nono is someone. She could be someone we already knew. Someone else? Someone we already knew, I guess? It doesn't really work. What is her power? I wish, I swear, her power cannot be bad lie detection. That seems really lazy to be like, ah yes, there's only 3 powers in existence. Everything, mind reading, mind control, lie detection, and shitty lie detection. She is Senri? I mean, it's very possible she's Senri, because they keep hinting that she knows too much information. So either she's like doing that like double life thing, where she's like Senri she's actually Senri at some points and then not Senri at some other time, but Senri's disappeared, so I don't know. Maybe she's taking care of Senri? Like, we're still on the Senri trail, right? She could be Senri. And that's a really good possibility. Because we don't... Our memories of Senri are from when she's strapped in a chair. So we don't know if Nono is Senri, because we don't really have a great look at her face all too often from too many angles. And like, blonde is literally the easiest hair color to dye your hair, because every other color requires you to bleach your hair. Like, if you want to dye your hair blue, you bleach your hair and then you dye it blue usually, so that you can get like the bright blue color. You start with like a base of blonde, so like dyeing your hair blonde isn't unreasonable. Because like she somehow already knows, she trusts that, so she like either got told by Senri, or she is Senri, because in her head she's like, I know for a fact that Onoe wasn't in the basement when Takuru went and investigated her. But it's like, maybe Senri told you that, but why are you assuming that 2 witnesses who both concur are wrong when you're right? If you have secondhand evidence, it's kind of weird. Like, do you trust Senri more than you trust your other 2 friends, including like someone you'd consider your like your brother, or would you need to have first, like, the only way I'd override that is with first-hand evidence, right? Like, if you told me, like, let's take something really simple. Alright, so, like, I'm learning 40k, and you're like, heavy bolters are AP -1. If you told me that, I would accept that. And then if two of my friends, one of whom is, like, a literal Space Marine player, came up to me and was like, nah, bro, they're AP too, I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, I'd take his word more than I'd take the word of someone else who was also there from 5 years ago, right? Especially, like, 2 people. So, maybe she's not willing to change her mind, or maybe she has background information. I would assume that, like, if I was talking to a person like this and they were unwilling to accept that, I would assume that, like, they just have a hard time changing their beliefs, or they think they're right for some reason. Because, like, some people are unwilling to accept change, but in the case of Nono, it seems like she's hiding something, so I have to assume that the thing she's hiding could be why she believes that. So I think her being Senri kind of makes sense. Or Senri being alive makes sense. Like, it has to be one of those two, right? Either this is Senri, or she knows the current status of Senri, who is not dead. One of those two. If it's not, it doesn't make a lot of sense. She knows too much, and she's too uncomfortable about Senri, and she's lying about Senri so much. Like, it doesn't make sense. Maybe she murdered Senri, but then she would know for a fact she was dead. And if she murdered Senri, then the lie detection for she died around the time of the earthquake would be easy, because it'd be paying as true. It's like, oh, she died around the earthquake. Yeah, it's like she died as a result of the earthquake. It's like, oh, the earthquake happened to accidentally kill her at the end. Something like that. So I feel like her either knowing Senri or being Senri is the most sensible thing. And like I said, hair dye pretty easy to come by. She has superpowers, so who knows what her power actually is. Her power could just be the power of illusion to deceive people's... could be the power of illusion, but I think, like, Sarika would know that. Then again, mind reading, right? Sarika knows her secret. So how does Sarika know her secret if she hasn't told anyone? It's probably because she's read it from her mind. Anyway. Nono takes a swing at Sarika, alright. There was a shower of pale sparks. I mean, it could be that she's like a trained assassin too, right? She seems like really vicious when it comes to this. And like, if I was impersonating someone, would I suddenly try to like murder people over them like exposing that? Maybe, but like, I don't know if I do it like this. So maybe she's actually like, she's another person in the hospital and is like a trained killer or some shit. Maybe a little bit out of left field, but so was Hana's ending, so... Alright, we could guess like Master Assassin or some shit. Who knows? That said, I'd expect her to be better against Sarika if that was the case, but maybe it's the mind control. Maybe it's the mind reading that's keeping her afloat. Nono flipped her wrist around. This time, the silver light flashed upwards. There was a roar of spiraling wind. Even I could tell Nono's stance was all wrong. See, like, if Takuru can tell that she's not fighting correctly, clearly she isn't that good, and like the like Sut secretly being an assassin is wrong, or like being a serial killer is kind of weird. You'd think she'd be more comfortable with killing people rather than like attacking people in a berserk rage, but I don't know what else sets her off. What's supposed to set her off here? Sarika was easily deflecting her attacks and grinning all the while. Taku, you still don't know who she really is? Well, that cinches it. That clinches it. She's clearly a Sarika. That's no question at all now. Like, there was a few options, but this phrasing, you don't know who she really is, tells you she's someone else. Right? Because it would be what? If they were like a killer, it'd be like what? You usually use killer for like object, right? Like if I was to say someone's a killer, I like, you don't know what they really are. Like they're a monster, right? Monsters are objects usually. Oh. Unless you usually want to like, what's it called? Dehumanize monsters or people who are horrible people. So you use what to refer to them as an object. In this case, we're using who, so means it is a case of identity theft. Assuming that the dialogue is tight enough. I mean, well, there's been spelling mistakes, so it may not be that tight, but rather than what tells me.
姿
Gives me that message, so I'm 100% on board with that. Alright, who she really is? Please stop it. Please stop it. Yeah, this is reinforcing that. That's
しょ
reinforcing
うが
that.
ないわね。じゃあ私の口から教えてあげる。
I guess
ク
I'll
レ
have
ス
to
ノ
tell you
ノ
then.
の。いいえ。
I guess I have to tell you then. The truth about Nono Caruso, or more precisely. Stop it. Or more precisely,
南沢千里の真実を。
the truth about Senri Minamisawa. Yep. It was kind of leading that way since all the hooks for her route were dragging you towards Senri Minamisawa. Alright, Senri Minamisawa and Nono Caruso were friends. Nono was bright and cheerful and everyone loved and admired her. Senri looked up to her too. Well, clearly Senri is also bright, cheerful, and everyone loves and admires her because she's able to impersonate Senri. Senri is able to impersonate Nono flawlessly, which is really hard to do if you're like the literal opposite person. Senri, however, was well aware she was gloomy and that she mumbled and no one liked her. None of those things describe Nono, so either Senri is like the best impersonator ever, or she's basically become Nono. And has been Nono the whole time we've known her, which is since the earthquake, I assume. So when Nono first spoke to her, she was more confused than happy. She even wondered if Nono was trying to show off what a good girl she was by hanging out with a failure like her. In fact, that's how everyone else had seen it. But as she got to know Nono, Senri stopped doubting. The two of them just seemed to get along somehow. Senri was quiet and Nono liked to take care of people. The two of them became fast friends. Senri Minamisawa was a dear friend to Nono Caruso, but for Senri it wasn't that simple. From her perspective, Nono Caruso had everything you could ever want. She was jealous. She knew it was wrong to think that way. She knew she should never think that way, but the more she thought about it, the stronger the feeling became.
ののちゃんが羨ましい。
I'm so jealous of Nono.
ののちゃんみたいに
I wish I could be like Nono.
もしもののちゃんのような星のもとに生まれていたなら
Only I'd been born under a lucky star like her.
そうすれば私だってきっと
Then I'm sure I'd also would have.
私はののちゃんになりたい
I want to be Nono. Imagine wishing to be your childhood friend instead of wishing to be like a multi-billionaire famous actor or some shit. Kind of funny. But alright. You want to be Nono. That was Senri Minamisawa's wish. And then 6 years ago also, if that's her wish, does that mean all she can do is turn into all she can do is possess or turn into Nono? That's kind of funny. Like, imagine having that limited power. It's like, you thought lie detection was weak. It's like, I can turn into exactly one other person. And then 6 years ago, there'd been a deafening roar, a violent shaking, and a blinding light. Nono Caruso was right in front of Senri. Nono was caught by a collapsing building and on the verge of death. She could barely keep her eyes open. There was nothing Senri could do for her.
死にたくないよ
Rest in peace, real Nono, who we've never actually met then.
やりたいこと
I want to die.
いっ
There's
ぱい
so much more I want to do.
まだ死にたく
I don't want to die yet. And then her voice faded away. Senri would never hear it again. Nono Caruso would never move again. Rest in peace, Nono.
のの
Senri cried. She knelt before Nono and cried and cried. Nono Caruso was her only friend. She was sad to have lost her, and
ののちゃん 私ね、ののちゃんみたいに
No, you
な
know,
りたかったの。
I always wanted to be you.
どうして死んじゃったの？
Why'd you have to die?
ねえ、どうして？
Hey, why? Why? I don't know if she can tell you. I'm sorry your friend's dead.
死ねばよかった。
I should have died. Should have been me.
私が
That
死ねばよか
survivor's
った。
guilt. That's fucking brutal. I should have been the one to die.
私なんてどうせ生きていたってまた苦しい実験にさらされるだけだもん。
Even if I survive, I'm just gonna have to do more of those painful experiments.
生きていても誰も喜んでなんてくれないもん。
Even if I survive, no one will be happy.
ののちゃんの代わりに私が死ねば。
Only I died instead of you. And then there was a light.
なんということでしょう。目の前に魔法の剣が現れたかと思うと、南沢千里の体は不思議な光で包まれたのでした。
And you know what happened next? A magic sword appeared and Senru Minamisawa's body was enveloped in a strange light.
そして驚いたことに、その姿は彼女にとって憧れの少女クルス・ノノへと変身していたのです。
And amazingly, she found herself transformed into Nono, the girl she'd always wanted to be. Dude, it's really hard to pull off that super outgoing personality though. If that's not you, that's gotta be brutal.
それこそが彼女
Unless it's her
南
power.
沢千里のギガロマニアックスとしての覚醒でした。
And that was her, Senri Minamisawa's, awakening as a gigalomaniac. Can she copy anyone or just Senri? Or just, Nono? Curious. I'm curious, I need to know.
発行の少女南沢千里は本物のクルス・ノノを南沢千里として葬ることで、
And then, poor little Senri buried the real Nono and told everyone that Carusa's body was her own.
醜いアヒルの子から白鳥へと生まれ変わり、輝かしい第二の人生を歩き始めることにしたのでした。
And thus, she was reborn from an ugly duckling into a beautiful white swan and began a wonderful second life.
めでたしめでたし。
And she lived happily ever after. Okay.
どうだったタク？南沢千里とクルス・ノノ、二人の少女の取り替え早物語は楽しかった？
Well, Taku, how did you like the tale of the two changelings, Nono and Senri Minamisawa? I mean, that's fine. We haven't actually met the real Senri, right? Or we haven't actually met the real Karus, right? The Changelings, a story from medieval Japan, describes the tale of a young boy and girl raised as the opposite sex and the chaos that ensues. Sometimes it's also used as a name for other stories involving characters who switch gender or social position. Okay. My pulse began to quicken and I started to lose my ability to think clearly. Oh, Takuru, you've never had that. I could feel my soul shifting within my body. The ground under me shook unsteadily. I don't know why you care. We've literally never met the real Nono. So the fake is just as good as the real thing at that point to us. It wasn't just the ground, it was my whole world. Oh my god, this guy. Like, he gets told that, like, there's only one strain of bananas in existence, or that bananas used to taste a different flavor, and, like, their entire mind collapses. By the way, both true. Everything that made up the person named Takuru Miyashiro began to shake. Yeah, this guy's whole world's collapsing. My head hurt and I couldn't understand what I was hearing. What did I just hear? The history of the person before you met them was different than what they told you. Surprising nobody, Karus was lying like we already knew. Except for Takuru, who's kind of blind to the truth. Even if it was just that she was lying. Was Sarika telling me Nono was Senri Minamisawa? That's right, the person you're paranoid about wanting to murder you is in fact your girlfriend, who doesn't want to murder you. Isn't that like the best news you've gotten ever? Like, you spent several days paranoid that this chick was gonna murder you from like beyond, like you thought she was dead and gone and she's no longer murdering you, and now it's like she's your girlfriend? And it's like your loving girlfriend, it's like she's not trying to kill you, in fact she's trying to do just the opposite? Nono was a gigalomaniac. I knew that already. But her power was...
違う。ギガロマニアックスとしてのノノの能力は有村と同じはずだ。
Oh, her gigalomaniac power is the same as Arimura's. She can tell when someone's lying, right, Nono? To be fair, I dumped Nono for lying endlessly to me, but, you know... alright. She can tell when someone's lying, right, Nono? Right, Nono? Right, Nono?
Nono.
Answer me, Nono. Nono said nothing, she just looked very sad. Sarika's lips curled up into a mocking grin.
タクってば本当にバカなんだから、やっぱりタクには私がついてないとダメだよね。
Wow, you're really such a dummy, Taku. You're helpless without me.
どういうことだよ。
She literally had to spoon feed you the truth.
有村ひなえと同じ。人が嘘をついているかどうかを見抜ける。
Her power
嘘
is
で
the
塗り
same as
固めた
Hina?
反省のくせに、苦し紛れについた嘘はずさんだな。
Her power is the same as Hina? She can tell when someone's lying? For someone who spent half their life living a lie, she sure is a terrible liar.
嘘なんかじゃない。私
It's
は。
not a lie. Dude, like you literally never used your lie detecting power, and Hina can't turn hers off. Come on, nice try.
私は
No one buys
な
that.
んだ。また宮代拓に嘘つくつもりか。
What? You what? Are you gonna lie to Takuru Miyashiro again? I mean, she'd love to.
違う。私は
No, I...
クルスノノ。
Oh, no. Yeah, sort of. Sort of. I'll give that like a middling truth value. Sarika must have thought Nono's words were the funniest thing in the world because her body was racked with laughter.
呆れた。この後に及んでまだそんな嘘がつけるとは。お前、大した玉だよ。
Wow, I can't believe it. You're still capable of lying. Even now, man, you're freaking shameless. To be fair, if her gigalomaniac power is shapeshifting, that would mean her entire ability is founded on the ability to deceive others. I mean, ignoring the fact that gigalomaniac powers involve implanting ideas in people's minds to make them real, which is basically faking it till you make it in a literal sense. But I mean, her power is literally the ability to deceive people about her actual appearance and identities. So yeah, being someone who's like clinging to lies is not entirely unbelievable.
尾上。
Very in character, right? Oh, no way.
しょうがないから。
Fine,
私の口
I'll
か
say
ら
it
もう
one more
一度はっ
time.
きり言ってやろ
Repeating
う。
the truth doesn't make it more true. You should come up with more evidence, but it's fine. It's fine. People's opinions change if you reiterate them or eventually break them. That works too.
いいか宮代拓。その嘘つき女の能力は複写だよ。
Listen, Takuru, that lying girl's power is duplication.
屈射。
Duplication?
そう。言うなればコピー。容姿、声色、寸分の違いなく別人になり変わることのできる能力。それがそいつの能力。
That's right. She's capable of imitating someone's appearance and voice down to the smallest details. That's her power. Oh, it's only the voice and appearance, so she does have to have the personality to actually carry out the role of Nono. That's quite impressive for someone who's apparently a depressed introvert. Alright. To be like suddenly a very energetic extrovert. In other words.
だからタクが言い含められたのは全くの嘘。タクは騙されてたんだよ。初めて会ったその時からずーっと。
So, everything she told you was a bald-faced lie. You were tricked. She's been lying to you since the moment you first met. It's true. It's true. Finally, I felt a shock, like being hit with a club run through my skull. No, I've been feeling that shock for a while now, but my mind was so dulled I couldn't even think.
ちょっとすごいだろ。まさかそこまで嘘ずくめだったなんて、さすがに想像すらしてなかっただろ。
It's kind of amazing, huh? I bet you never imagined she was so full of lies.
でも、
I
お前もこれで
I
分か
wouldn't
った
have
だろ
assumed
う。
it.
クルスノノ。いや、南沢千里という女の醜く悪辣な本性を。
But now you know what a nasty bitch Nono Senri Minamisawa really is. To be fair, she hasn't actually done anything bad other than impersonate a dead person, which is... it's not the biggest crime. Especially for us, considering...
南沢千里は親友が死んだことを悲しむどころか、これ幸いとあっけなく切り捨て、南沢千里として慰霊碑の下に葬った。
Instead of being sad when her friend died, she buried her friend under the memorial and told everyone her dead friend was Senri.
そして自らは美しく明るく聡明で誰からも好かれるクルスノノとして第二の人生を謳歌していたんだよ。
And then she began a second life as the bright, cheerful girl who everyone loved.
違う。
Oh, you got a good defense for this?
ほんと感心するよ。普通なら罪悪感というものがあるはずだよ。よくそれで毎日ああやって笑っていられたものだな。
Really, it's amazing. A normal person would at least feel some guilt. I don't know how she was ever capable of feeling happy all the time.
女って怖い。
Women are such scary creatures, huh?
違う。
It's not true. Oh, you weren't happy?
何が違う？
Or you weren't feeling happy? What's not true? Sarika's cold voice shot through the night like a bullet.
虚構と虚栄にまみれた汚らわしいペテン師。それが偽らざるお前の正体なんだよ。
You're a
南
fraud,
沢千
a
里。
liar, and a fake. That's who you are, Senri. There was a mocking light in her eye as she glared at Nono, who we're calling Nono now, instead of Karus, apparently. Without even thinking about it, I closed my eyes and put my hands to my temples. Black doubts rose up and began to take shape. I'd seen Senri in my nightmares 1,000 times. This is the way he's going. I thought she hated me for not being able to help her. I thought she was the one behind the new generation murders. And she was actually Nono? Wait, why did you still think she's the killer? We already knew it was Sarika. It's not true. What's not true?
おお、さすがだな。まだそんな
Astonishing.
こ
You're
とが
still
言える
saying
なん
that?
て。
You're so desperate for her not to open her mouth, so it's clearly true. Like, why would you assume it's a lie if you're desperate to shut her up, right?
でも、まあいい。
But it doesn't matter. Sarika laughed a little and turned around to leave.
殺してやろうかと思ったけど、今日はこのままにしてやろう。なぜって、その方が面白そうだからだよ。
I thought I'd kill you, but I think I'll just leave you like this. Why? It's more fun this way. Wow, it's the only route where someone doesn't try to kill you.
言い訳なりなんなりするがいい。惨めに、無様に、滑稽に。すべてを偽っていた醜い自分を許してと地面に頭をこすりつけて泣いて謝ればいい。
Go make your pathetic, miserable excuses to Takeru Miyashiro. Get on the ground and cry and beg him to forgive you.
もっとも、そんなことしたところで許してくれるかどうかはわからないがな。
Of course, I don't know if you actually... Wow, this is the first route we've done where the ending does not involve the villain trying to murder you, if this is the ending. Interesting. She's just walking off laughing. Alright. We aren't getting run through. Nono's not being run through. She walked off into the darkness of the night, her laughter echoing down the street. I couldn't follow. It feels like it's the ending. I was helplessly caught up in what she said, as if I'd fallen into a whirlpool.
Takuru.
Takuru. I turned toward the sound of a hoarse voice. Nono was smiling at me weakly.
ノノ
Nono.
やっぱりあの子どうかしちゃったのよ。
Dude,
あんな見えすいた嘘つく
you're a
だ
little
なん
bit
て。
late to try and play it off like she's crazy. If you'd not tried to shut her up 3 times, it probably would have been way more effective if you're like, oh, yeah, sure, I'm Senri. Like, yeah, like anyone's gonna fucking believe that. But instead, you're like, shut up, I don't want to hear it. He doesn't need to hear anything you have to say. Suddenly, it's like, oh, what does she have to say? I'm kind of interested. And then you try to play it off. Yeah, that doesn't work. It's, we started with denial. And with denial, we have denial, anger. Are we at bargaining now? I think we're at bargaining. We're at bargaining. You can't surely believe her. Surely you don't believe her. Really? What do I have to do to prove that it's not true?
嘘
Lies.
そうよ。あんなの嘘に決まってるでしょ。
Right.
私たちを疑心暗鬼に陥らせて喧嘩させる
Right.
ため
Of
の
course she was lying.
セリ
She's
カの見
telling
えすいた嘘。
obvious lies to make us suspicious of each other. Yes, please believe it. I'll do anything. Please believe this. Lies? Who was lying and who was telling the truth?
第一、誰かと入れ替わるなんてそんなことできるわけないじゃない。あんな妄想を信じろだなんてどうかしてるわ。
In the first place, it's impossible to just switch places with someone like that. She's crazy to ask you to believe her delusions. Was it just a delusion?
タクル、
Her voice was nervous.
タクルは信じてくれるよね。
Tucker, you'll believe me, won't you?
ノノ
No. Unnecessary drama.
信じてくれるよね。
Believe me, won't you? Nono was right. I couldn't completely trust Sarika right now. There was a good chance she was trying to make us suspicious of each other, but was everything she said a lie? But
タクル、
there was one thing I could say for sure, and that was,
信じていいのか
is it okay to believe you? I wanted to believe in
本当
Nono.
に信じていいのか
Is it really okay to believe you? She said we were a family. She said we wouldn't have any secrets, and I wanted to believe her. I didn't want to go through that anymore. I didn't want to be betrayed by the people I cared about anymore.
分かった
Okay. I want to believe you,
ノノを信
Nono.
じたい
I was probably saying that to myself, not to her. The real Nono Karus was already dead, and another girl, Senri, had taken her place. Sarika's words had come out of nowhere, and I couldn't believe them. I'd already said I'd believe Nono when she said she was telling the truth. I wanted to believe, but...
タクル、おかわりは？
Tucker, do you want seconds?
いやいい
No, I'll pass.
朝だってあんまり食べてなかったけど、ひょっとして調子悪い？
You didn't eat much at breakfast either. Are you not feeling well?
別に大丈夫だから
No, I'm fine.
そう。
Gee. I said I wanted to believe, but it just wouldn't be that easy for any human being. The more you want to believe, the more you try not to think about something, the more the tiny thorn in your heart digs deeper into you. I knew that was just what Sarika wanted, but that didn't mean there was anything I could do about it.
もしかしてタクルさんとノノさん喧嘩してます？
Are you two fighting?
その昨日からなんだかよそよそしい感じがしたので。
Been acting strange since yesterday. Yes, but Takuru is very slow to process things. Give him a few weeks and he might process this.
ノノ姉ちゃんたち喧嘩してるの？
Are you guys fighting?
別にそんなことないわよ。ねえタクル。
ああ喧嘩なんかしてない
Yeah, we're not fighting.
タクル兄ちゃん早く謝った方がいいよ。
Kuru, you should apologize soon. It's always Takuru's fault.
だか
Poor
ら
guy.
喧嘩してないって
I
言っ
said
て
we're
るだ
not
ろ
fighting. If we were,
仮
how
に
do
し
you
ていた
know
と
it's
して
my
も
fault?
なんで僕が原因ってことになるんだよ
だってのの姉ちゃんが怒ってる時はだいたいそうだもん。
Because whenever Nono's mad, it usually is. Oops.
心配しないで言うと、別にタクルが何かしたわけじゃないから。
Don't worry, Yuto. Chikuru didn't do anything wrong. Yuto is just sitting there in his head thinking, press X to doubt.
本当？
Really? Really? Yeah, he doesn't seem convinced. Really?
それよりほら、ちゃんと人参も食べなきゃダメよ。
Now, come on, eat your carrots.
僕人参嫌い。
He doesn't like carrots. What do you like then? How do you not like carrots? It's a nice, simple, inoffensive vegetable. Is he gonna be one of those weird people who like really likes broccoli or something?
そんなこと言ってたら強い男の子になれないわよ。
If you talk like that, you won't grow up to be big and strong. I'll have you know, nutrition only plays a small amount in whether or not you grow up to be big, wide, or strong. It's mostly genetics. Sorry, Nono. Nono was bothered by it too, and it showed up in the way she was acting. Doubts within me and Nono's unease had built up to the point where even Yamazoe could sense them. We'd fallen right into Sarika's trap. If there was any way to get out of this, it was... It wasn't that I doubted her. I was doing this because I believed her, because I wanted to believe. That's what I told myself over and over again as I went to the meeting spot.
まったく、俺はいつの間にかすっかり便利屋になり下がってしまったようだな。
At some point, I think I became your personal errand boy. Shinjo's words were sarcastic when he saw me. But it made sense. I've been coming to him for everything lately.
本来外部の人間にこんなものを見せるのは感心できるこっちゃないんだがな。
I'm really not supposed to be showing these to people outside the police force.
すみません。
Sorry. Must be nice getting the cops to give you any information that you want.
まあいいさ。今更だ。それより、こいつが頼まれていた例のブツだ。
It's fine. It's too late for that now. Anyway, this is what you asked for. Here you go. Shinjo took out a large envelope and put it on the table.
見ていいですか？
May I look at it? Ooh, interesting. Mite itsuka. That is, the standard way of asking permission for something, using the te form.
そのた
Interesting.
めに持ってきたんだろ？
That's why I brought it. That's fair.
ありがとうございます。
I mean, most people don't bring random folders and hand them to people with the expectation that they'll never look at them. Most people. I could tell my hands were shaking as I reached for the envelope. If I wasn't suspicious, there was nothing to be afraid of. If I believed her, there was no reason to hesitate. But I still wasn't sure whether it was okay for me to look.
どうした？見ないのか？
Well, you're not gonna look?
いえ、
No, I opened the envelope and took out the documents inside.
そいつが渋谷地震で亡くなったとされる南沢千里の検視資料だ。
That's the autopsy report for Senri Minamisawa, who was believed to have died in the Shibuya earthquake. Shinjo whispered and looked around him as he spoke.
何せあの時は事態が事態だったからな。南沢千里に限らずいろいろと粉飾されてるデータも多くてな。
A lot of the data from the earthquake period is pretty spotty, and not just for Senri.
一応渋谷地震の被害者のうち遺体の損傷が激しく身元がはっきりしないものに関しては残っている組織によって DNA 鑑定が行われた。
We did DNA tests for any victims of the quake whose bodies were too badly damaged to be identified.
当然南沢千里のものとされている遺体も火災による損壊が激しく組織の一部が DNA 鑑定に回されている。
Of course, Senri's body was heavily damaged by the fire, and so part of her remains were sent for DNA identification.
その遺体は本当
The
に
body's really...
それなんだがな。見てもらえばわかるが南沢千里という少女は両親も地震によって命を落としている。
About that, you can see when you look at the file, but both her parents perished in the earthquake as well.
そのせいで南沢千里の遺体に関してはその DNA 鑑定の結果を紹介する以前に当時親しかったとある人物の証言によって認定されたって話だ。
So before they could match her body with the results of the DNA analysis, a close friend identified the body for us.
とある人
What's
物
close friend?
クルス・ノノだ。
Nono. Oh dear. Oh dear. In other words, Nono said it was Senri's body. That was the only reason she was believed to have died.
クルス・ノノの証言のみにより、その遺体は南沢千里と認定され、遺族に引き渡されて葬られた。ここまではいいな。
Nono Karusa's testimony was enough to ID the body as Senri's, and it was returned to her family and buried. Got it so far?
はい。
よし。で、その下の封筒だが、
Good. Then the envelope under it.
そいつが当時の DNA の鑑定記録だ。鑑識課の知り合いに頭を下げて、ちょこっとその記録をつついてみた。
That's the DNA
おかげで
analysis
ラー
report.
メン一杯分だ。
I begged a guy I know in forensics to take a look at it, and now I owe him a bowl of ramen.
あ、それくらいなら僕が。
You can pay for the ramen, Takuru. At least be that nice.
おいおい、言ってみただけだ。子供に出させるほど俺も落ちぶれちゃいないよ。
I'm not so poor, I need a kid to pay my bills. Good response, Takeshi. Shinjo was laughing, but his salary probably wasn't that high. With payday coming up, it was probably a pretty big blow to him.
で、だ。
Back on topic.
俺の方で鑑定結果を照合してみたんだがな。
I matched the analysis with the information I had.
結論を言えば、遺体の DNA は南沢千里の両親、父親、母親のどちらとも DNA 型が一致しなかった。
And to get right to the point, the body's DNA didn't match the DNA of Senru Minamisawa's mother and father, which means...
その遺体は南沢千里のものではない。
Body didn't belong to Senri. Yep.
そういう
There
こ
you
とだ。
go, DNA evidence. That's right. Slowly, slowly. Everything Shinjo said began to sink in. The body that Nono Cruz claimed was Senri wasn't. But then why had Nono said that? Had she mistaken someone else for Senri? How is that possible when they're supposed to be best friends? And
さあ、それじゃあ、南沢千里のものと思われた遺体は一体誰だったのか。
now the question is who the body actually belonged to, but he motioned for me to flip to the next page.
当時、身元不明で DNA 鑑定に回された遺体は348名。
There were 348 unidentified bodies that were sent for DNA analysis.
そのデータを詳しく検証してみた結果、それらの中からおそらく南沢千里と母子関係だと思われる極めて近い DNA を持つ遺体が見つかった。
After going through them all, I found one whose DNA matches to the point where I believe she's the mother of the person we thought was Senri.
母子関係。
Her mother? In other words, it was the mother of the dead girl.
その人は
Who was that? Shinjo took a sip of water to wet his throat. His next words were clear and unmistakable. We have to be convinced by the police of the truth. Alright, well. Okay, it takes a while for Takuru to get things through his thick skull.
クルス・ユカ子。渋谷地震で圧死したクルス・ノノの母親だ。
Yukako Kurus, mother of Nono Kurus, who was crushed to death during the Shibuya earthquake. Yup, that clinches. There's no other doubt. Come on, Takuru, you can't be in denial still. Everything went black. I thought again and again about what he was telling me. The mother of the body they thought was Senri was actually Nono Kurus's mom, which meant that it was Nono who's dead. Ooh.
南沢千里のものと思われていた遺体はクルス・ノノのものだった。
The body you thought was Senri was actually Nono. I didn't even recognize my voice as I spoke.
それはその
Are you, sure?
間違いないことなんですか？
I feel like that's not something he'd be like, yeah, I'm 10% certain of.
データは寡黙に、だが雄弁に物語っている。
The accuracy of the data is beyond question. Good answer, Shinjo. Firm. Firm and confident. Yeah, good job, Shinjo.
南沢千里は親友が死んだことを悲しむどころか、これ幸いとあっけなく切り捨て、南沢千里として慰霊碑の下に葬った。
Oh man. I do not know if I could live with someone like this, who's just endlessly lying to you about everything. Like, even if it doesn't matter, they're endlessly lying to you. You can't, like, trust them with anything. It's like, what can you actually trust this person with? Can you trust them not to, like, screw up something else for you in life? Can you trust them when you ask them to do something for you? Like, what can you trust them with if they're gonna keep lying? It's one thing if they're like, oh yeah, I was, like, scared you wouldn't know me, but it's like, oh yeah, you've been confronted multiple times with identity theft, and you're just like, nah, it's me, fuck you. Or, like, endlessly begging people to believe you when it's clearly false. I don't really follow anymore. Anyway. I wouldn't really be okay with it anymore, but I think Takuru is gonna be okay with it. He's a bit of a pushover. Instead of being sad when her friend died, she buried her friend under the earthquake memorial and told everyone her dead friend was Senri. And then she begins a second life as the bright, cheerful girl who everyone loved. Rika's voice echoed in my head. That was... You believe me, won't you? What the hell? She told me to believe her. Why did she tell me to believe her? Miyashiro, you're looking pale. Are you okay? Yeah. Apparently he is. He's lying. Anyway, about these results.
それなんですが、どうするかは少しの間僕に預けてくれませんか?
Can you let me handle this for a while? What is there to handle?
そう言うだろうと思ったよ。
Oh, you'd say that, yeah.
すみません。
Sorry.
まあいいさ。だが、そのままにしておくわけにもいかない。いずれ時が来たら、きちんと処置は取らせてもらうからな。
Well, it's alright, but I can't just ignore this. When the time comes, I'm gonna have to take action.
はい。
Right. So you're gonna...
俺もとんだお人よしだな。
Jeez, I'm such a softie. So what are you gonna do in terms of action? Are you gonna arrest her for are you gonna charge her with identity theft? I guess you would, like, probably refund any inheritance she got from her parents to, like, their next of kin, assuming they exist. And, like, charge her, like, what, I don't know, like 10,000 yen or something like that. I forget. Identity theft is not, like, heavily punished, honestly. At least in North America. It probably wouldn't be too bad to be, like, hit with identity theft. Probably wouldn't be, like, realistically that awful. I'm such a shelfie. Shinjo kept talking after that, but I couldn't hear a single word he said. All I could sense was some dark thing sinking into my stomach. I staggered back home like a zombie in a graveyard. The lead weight in my stomach got heavier. There was a feeling inside me I didn't recognize at all.
おかえり、タクル。どこへ行ってたの?
Welcome back, Takuru. Where did you go? Nono was smiling at me like always, but I could tell she was trying to judge my mood, and that only upset me more. It was obvious now what she was afraid of.
Takuru?
Takuru? Alright, Takuru. Time to grab a bag and head out for some smokes. Nono Karus. The person I always thought was Nono Karus, although Takuru is not the person to do that. The girl I always thought of is my stepsister, but... He was really...
ねえ、タクル、どうかした?
Takuru, what's wrong?
もしかして気分でも悪いの?
My ears started to ring as she spoke. Lumps of emotion collided and fought within me.
どうしたの? タクル兄ちゃん、病気?
What's wrong? Are you sick?
お布団敷きましょうか?
Shall I lay out a futon?
いや、それより
No, why don't you
二人は
play
ちょっと外で
outside?
遊んできてくれないか。
Alright, our man is like collapsing from the emotional shock right now. Outside?
いいの？
Can we?
ちょっとタクル、何言ってるの。この前セリカが来たばっかりじゃない。二人だけで行動させるなんて危険よ。
What are you talking about? Sarika was just here. We can't send them outside alone. It's dangerous. Dangerous? She doesn't even want to kill us. She just wants to tell you the truth. Which,
アパートの近くなら大丈夫だろう。その代わり何かあったら大声出すんだ。いいな。
they'll be fine as long as they're near the apartment. If anything happens, yell. Got it?
わかったよ。
You got it.
ウキ姉ちゃん、行こう。
Okay, let's go.
うん。
Alright.
あ、ちょっと。
Wait. We've been so insistent that they stay inside. They were probably eager for any chance to get out. They were gone before Nono could even finish her sentence.
ちょっとタクル、どういう。
Give her a stern look for once in your
お前
life,
に
Karu.
話があるんだよ。
I need to talk to you, Karus. Karus's expression tense when she heard what I called her. Oh, we're back to Karus. We're back to Karus. Please don't change it. She lies way too often. I had to say it. I had to ask. I had to know. If we were gonna stay like this, if Karus is gonna stay Karus, if we're gonna be a family, it was best I didn't ask. But
ついさっき
I just met with Shinjo. Here we go.
新庄さんに
With Shinjo? What?
どうして。
調べてもらったんだよ。
I had him look into
南沢
Senri's
千里の
death.
死について。
Sweat beading on the back of Senri's neck here. I thought she'd get angry or be surprised. But she listened to my words without changing her expression at all. How do I lie my way out of this is all she's thinking.
DNA 鑑定の結果がある。南沢千里だと思われていた遺体の。
I have the result of the DNA test right here for the body we thought was Senri's. I tossed the brown envelope on the table. But Karus didn't move to pick it up. She just said 2 words.
そう。
I see. That's all. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that when you told me you believed me? I was expecting her to say that, but she didn't. Instead, I was the one who spoke.
どうして
Why? You have anything to say for yourself? All these pointless lies?
どうして言い訳しないんだよ。
Why aren't you making excuses? Why aren't you
ど
denying
う
it?
して否定しないんだよ。
No, no. She was already at bargaining. We don't make excuses once we're past bargaining. Learn your stages of grief.
だってタクルの中でもう結論は出
Because
て
you
るん
already
でしょ。
have your answer now.
だけど
But
否定してくれよ。違うって言ってくれよ。
deny it.
認めた
Tell
み
me
た
I'm
いじゃない
wrong.
か。
You're practically admitting it. Again, we're past that. That's not how the stages of grief work. Even if she denied it, it wouldn't change a thing. For plot, I mean, in real life, it can work that way. But for plot reasons, that almost never happens. I'd probably get mad if she was still lying. Even if I knew it didn't make sense, I still wanted her to say I was wrong. I wanted her to deny it. I still held on to a sliver of hope. I wanted to cling to the slightest chance he had something that would make me think the DNA test was wrong. Instead, all she said was,
ごめん。
sorry. Are you sorry? Or are you sorry you got caught? In other words, she admitted it. She admitted she wasn't really Nono Karus. I took my anger out on the table in front of me.
なんだよ。それ。
The
な
hell?
んだよそれ。
What do you mean? What does that
どういう
mean?
ことなんだよ。
落ち着いてタクル。
Calm down, Jakuru.
これが落ち着いてなんていられるかよ。
The hell am I supposed to
お
calm
願
down?
い話を聞いて。
Please, listen to me.
嘘だったんだな。最初から全部嘘だったんだ。家族だって言ったのも、大切だって言ったのも。
It's a lie, right? Right from the start. It's a lie when you said we're a family. It's a lie when you said you cared about me. It's a lie when you said you're Nono. Like, it's a lie when you said Senri. It's a lie when you said Sarika was lying. It's a lie when you said she was fucking
家
dead.
族の間で隠し事はなし。
It's a lie when you
よく
say
言えたもんだな。自分は正体まで隠しておいて、よくそんなこと言えたもんだよ。
no secrets between family. How can you say that when you're lying about your own goddamn name? I mean, the minute she proposed this no secrets rule after being the person who clearly violated it the first time, it's kind of funny that she proposed it a second time and it's like, well, no, I'll never lie again, right, guys? Obviously lying.
違うのタクル。
Can't even tell her. Can't even tell the truth about her name. That's not true, Takuru. Oh,
違う？何が違うん
it's
だよ。
not true. What's
何が
not
違う
true?
って言うんだよ。
How about you tell me what's not true?
私だって騙すつもりはなかったのよ。嘘をつくつもりなんてなかった。
Didn't she say that when she said our parents died in the earthquake and not that they were murdered? She's like, I didn't mean to deceive you. I just explicitly told you they had died due to the earthquake. Died in the earthquake and that they specifically weren't murdered. That's why we left in the first place. Didn't mean to deceive us or lie to us. Clearly
あなたと
lying.
出会った時には私はもうクルス・ノノだったから。
When I met you, I was already Nono.
もう二度と南沢千里には戻りたくなかった。あなたたちに嫌われたくなかったから。だから。
I never want to go back to being Senri Minamisawa. I didn't want you to hate me, so... We'd literally never met you. What the fuck? Karus was forcing the words out.
でも騙そうとしたんじゃない。本当はずっと苦しかった。私は本当はクルス・ノノじゃない。そ
I
う言い
didn't
たかっ
try
た。
to deceive you. It hurt me the whole time. I wanted to tell you I wasn't really Nono. But you get mad when we don't call you Nono. How are we supposed to take this? You get mad at us when we don't call you Nono, and then you claim you're not trying to deceive us into thinking you're Nono. That seems like a questionable decision.
でもそれが分かったら今の生活が失われるって。
If you knew, I thought I'd lose the life I had. What life? You were living in an orphanage. I don't even know the point of like impersonating someone. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose the life I had. Like you Either way, you'd be living in an orphanage, bro. Whatever. Alright.
明るくて誰からも好かれるクルス・ノノじゃなく、陰気で気味の悪い南沢千里だって分かったらタクルに嫌われるって。
If you knew I wasn't Nono, the cheerful girl everyone loved, who I'd never met before, who was gloomy, creepy, Senri Minamisawa, who I'd also never met before, I thought you'd hate me. Or I guess we met her once at a distance when she was being experimented on and tortured in a lab.
本当のこと言えなかった。
But I thought about that, I was too scared to tell you the truth.
騙そうだなんてそんなこと。それだけは。
I didn't try to lie to you, no matter what. I want you to believe that. Bruh, Arimura explicitly said you lied to us several times. If nothing else, we should believe Arimura.
信じてほしい。
You want me to believe? How much do you want us to believe? Those words shook me even more. Yeah, he's super tilted.
信じてほしいだって。
You want me to believe? Isn't that what you said like 5 minutes ago when you lied to our face like 10 times in a row? I'd lost the ability to control myself. I'd lost the ability to control what I was saying.
裏切ったのはそっちじゃないか。父さんや母さんの時だってそうだ。ずっと僕を騙して。
You're the one who betrayed me. It's the same as with mom and dad. You lied to me the whole freaking time.
もう
Yeah.
あんなことは二度とない。そう言ったよな。それも嘘だったってことじゃないか。
You said you'd never do that again, but that was just another lie, right? Absolutely. She lied to your face literally 5 minutes ago. Well, okay, 5 minutes game time. 8, 10 hours. Maybe an entire day. Prior.
それは。
It's not a lie? Oh, good
家
luck.
族の間で隠し事はしない。そう言って自分は一番大事なことを隠して、それで信じろだって。
So, the lesson we've learned, I hope Takuru and everyone watching this has learned, is that if your family ever says no secrets, they're clearly lying. They're clearly lying and are holding some serious secrets they don't want you to know and don't want you to pry about. Because they want you to operate under the assumption that you know everything about them. You said our family wouldn't keep any secrets, but you kept the most important secret you could, and now you want me to believe you?
信じられるわけないだろ。お前のことなんて今さら何も信じられるわけない。
I can't believe you. I can't believe anything you say now. That's right. That's right. Takuru? Oh, wow, that's rough. Sorry I made you cry. Grace's eyes were overflowing with tears. Lucky me, I'm not actually in this situation, so I don't have to be super awkward now that I've made her cry. I can just be like, I can be as abrasive as I want because she's an anime girl who's not real. Couldn't stop myself from speaking.
なんだよ。信じ合うのが家族とでも言いたいのか。だったら僕たちはもう家族じゃない。
What? Are you gonna tell me? Are you gonna tell me a family's supposed to believe in each other? Then we're not a family anymore, are we? Never pretend you're part of my family again. I let it all out. When I was down, there was nothing left but emptiness. And even after that, I still couldn't forgive her. Her tears, her words. They all seemed like lies. So.
ごめんなさい。
I watched as Karus turned and ran into the room, but I didn't try and stop her. Bye. Damn it. And Kuno Sato. I feel sorry for Kuno Sato, who has to listen to all this drama and is like, shut the fuck up. Smashing my fists into the table wasn't gonna change anything. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Wow, very, very creative vocabulary. I slammed my fists into it over and over again anyway. He still hasn't finished processing this, this revelation, by the way. What the hell's happening? Why has all this happened? Sarika had betrayed me. Karus lied to me. Everything I thought I had was turning against me. The only true person in your life is Arimura. Arimura is there for you. Abandon these thoughts. Go with Arimura, who hates lies because she's a lie detector and has no choice. She's way cooler and probably won't lie to you because she knows how much it sucks. It was laughing at me as it fled away. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I didn't have anything left to believe in. Sarika said she committed all those murders for me. Karus said she didn't want me to find out about her secret. And said she didn't have any secrets. So it's all my fault then, is it? Hana's pretty good. She's not actively trying to keep too many secrets, although she does keep the fact that she has superpowers a secret. It's, But maybe that's for the better, because she can't control them and they cause disasters every time she uses them. Like, yeah, unless you're literally dying, never, ever, ever use her powers. Unless it's like, there is a 100% chance you will die if she doesn't attempt to use her powers, don't do it. I wanted a case that would shake the whole world. I wanted a family. That's why all this happened, right? So that's it. If this ends with the Kuru committing suicide, that'd be kind of funny. Not because it would be funny that he killed himself, it'd kind of just be amusing that like every route ends badly that isn't the main route. Which still ends badly. It's like every route ends badly, no exceptions. So that's it. It's all my fault. It was my fault for being here. It was me that was making everyone miserable. The victims of the return of the new generation madness. Man, I don't want to chant kill yourself, but I kind of want to see the crew get yet another bad ending in the Nono route, mostly because I don't like Nono. And I feel like that's the only way this route ends badly. The victims of the return of new generation madness, Yui, Dad, Ito, Sarika, Karus. It was all my fault. Maybe I should just go away. Maybe I should just go disappear. Anyone, I don't care who, come kill me. Just kill me, please. Well, you don't have the motive to kill yourself, so that's probably not happening.
聞いてるんだろ
You're listening, right? Oh no,
尾上
that's my wish, so...
それが僕の願いだ
I could hear someone open the door and run into the room. Was it Sarika here to grant my wish? Unlikely.
タクル兄ちゃん、
Look, Kuruni-chan.
今、ノノさんが
No, no, just... Not Nono.
ノノ姉ちゃんと何かあったの？
Did something happen with Nono?
タクルさん？
The two of them were looking at me concerned, but I didn't have the energy to answer them. Bruce didn't come back to the apartment that night. Okay, bye. November 22nd, 2015, Sunday. Getting cold out. Oh, it's apparently raining and not snowing. Alright. What was I doing? The rain started to fall and the next thing I knew I'd come here. I changed out of my wet clothes into the old uniform I kept in the back of the dresser and looked around the room once more. Hadn't we moved out of this place? Why is all our stuff still here? They closed the place down, but they hadn't changed the locks or put a chain on the door. Spare key was in its usual place. They should have just let us stay here for a while more then. If they had, maybe this wouldn't have happened. I desperately tried to drive the thoughts from my mind once more. Anyway, thanks to the key, I'd made it inside easily. I knew it was wrong, but I'd come here anyway. I'd had too many memories here. I needed to come here to say goodbye to my past. All the furniture was still here too. It was much the same as when we'd lived here. But since there was no one to clean it, dust had built up on the shelves, tables, and floors. I softly ran my hand along the desk, and a streak of brown appeared under a thin layer of white. Who would have thought it'd get so dusty if no one was here for such a short time? The day we left, it felt like we were never coming back, and I'd been terribly sad. Oh, you're home? I whispered softly. Of course, no one answered. The place was empty, but still, this is where everything I had was kept. Everything I had is Nono Karus. I hated myself, the person named Senri. I'd always been alone ever since I was a kid. At recess time in daycare, everyone would go out to the playground and play on the swings and slide. But I liked to stay indoors and read books. I don't think I actually liked it. I just pretended I did so I wouldn't have to interact with other people. Even at a young age, I already thought that any interactions with others meant pain and sorrow. That didn't change in elementary school. I'm just getting a good look at this picture, because we haven't actually seen this background before. Alright. Instead of changing, my introverted personality got worse. Now, after having lived as Nono for years, I knew, if you try to stay in your shell, everyone will ignore you. But you don't have to do that. There's so many fun things around you. There's so many friends you can enjoy them with. I was always alone. That didn't mean I was bullied. For as long as I can remember, I'd always been worried about what other people thought of me. I was good at avoiding becoming a target. I tried my best not to stand out. I tried my best not to make anyone mad. That was my life. But I still hated myself. I hated the girl named Senri Minamisawa. One day I talked to my mom about it.
お母さん、私、もっとみんなと仲良くなれるようになりたい。
Mom, I want to be friends with everybody.
友達がたくさんできる。そんな性格になりたい。
I want to have a personality where I can make lots of friends. Thinking back, that was my first mistake. That was when my own personal hell began. Mom took me to a lab. She told me if I went there that they'd fix my shy personality. It was a lab that was related somehow to the pharmaceutical company where my dad worked in, deeply related to that weird cult my mom believed in. Only a vaguely suspicious laboratory. At first it was just simple psychological tests. All the doctors there were nice. When the tests were finished, they gave me candy. Not bad. I started to look forward to going there. I was a child. I was a fool. At first, Dad was opposed to me going there, but after a while, he almost never came home anymore. Mom said he was busy with work. And then the experiments began to get more serious. They'd forced my eyes to stay open as they showed me all kinds of weird images. They made me listen to this weird, creepy static for hours. Hot things, cold things, sour things, spicy things, nasty things, nasty things, nasty things. Many, 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 many painful things. In fact, all it says right here is just painful things. Lots of painful things. Painful things over and over and over again. Again and again and again. They put weird machines on my head. They gave me drugs. They gave me dozens of shots in my arms. Dry cough, nose runny. Something state a few days ago, I think. Or safe a few days ago. When my left arm turned purple, they'd use the right. When the right arm turned purple, they'd use the left again. A lot of needles, man. No matter how much I cried or screamed, no matter how much I said I didn't want to go, Mom told me it was my task in life to go there and be experimented on. What they were doing there was special. I was chosen, so I couldn't tell anyone else. That's what she said. Mom wouldn't listen no matter what I said, but Dad. Maybe Dad would. I longed to meet my father. And then one day I saw him in the middle of an experiment. When I finally saw my father again, he was like a different person. Not the way he looked, the way he felt. Before he'd been so opposed to me going to that facility, but now he said the experiments were for my own good. I was a small child with nothing left to believe in. The drugs ruined my skin. My hair would fall out sometimes too. I lost the few friends I'd had. And then, one day, the scientists were all happy with the results of the experiment. Dad was happy too. I didn't care. I just wanted to get away. Then the experiments got even worse. They gave me shots. Weren't they already giving me shots? My whole body hurt. I thought I might die. I fought back. They tied me to a chair. They put a weird device in my mouth. I couldn't even say it hurt anymore, and then I thought I saw someone looking at me from the door. Help me. You're looking, please help me. But there was no one to hear my voice. No one came to save me. I fell into despair. Despair at the past, the present, the future. There was no hope there, only pain and suffering. If living is this painful, I don't want to live anymore. I longed for death. And then it happened. She spoke to me for the first time. Are you okay? You're not looking good. Want to go to the nurse's office? Look, it's young Nono, aka the real one. True Nono? What's wrong? Oh, I'm fine. Really? Yeah. Oh, I'm Chris Nono. What's your name? Senri Minami-sawa. Senri, huh? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Chris. Call me Nono. Everyone does. Nono? Alright. She was the single ray of light in my dark life. Wow, I was actually gonna say that. A ray of light in the black. Alright. Light in the black. Nono was always cheerful and smiling. She was nice to everyone. There was always a circle of people around her, and I couldn't bring myself to try and join that circle. I just had to sit there and watch, but whenever I did... Senri, come here too, let's play. She'd shout to me. I could see the people around her frown. Nono must have known too. Some of them would walk away when I went to join the group. Just ignore those guys, they don't matter. We're friends, right? friends, you and me.
千里ちゃんはそう思ってくれないの？
Oh, you don't think so?
うん、そうじゃないけど、私でいいの？
That's not it. Can I really be your friend?
何言ってるの？
Of
当たり
course
前
you
じゃ
can.
ない。
Of course I could. Those words made me so happy. They kept me going. They saved me. Nono was cute and popular with the boys. Kawahara and the other boys would gather around her. They were all after Nono. I knew they didn't like me. Sometimes they'd say that the only reason I existed was to make her look better. But I didn't care. I knew Nono didn't think that way. Then one day, Nono asked me a question.
千里ちゃんはいつも早く帰って何してるの？
Oh, Senri, why do you always go home early? I had no idea what to say. But by that time, they were doing the experiments on weekdays, too. I was going to a weird place where they did creepy experiments. Mom told me not to tell anyone, but if I told her, she might think I was weird, but maybe I could tell her?
うちってね、お母さんしかいないの。だから休みの日はいつもお手伝いばっかりなんだ。
It's just me and Mom at home. So on my days off, all I do are chores. I was surprised. Nono always seemed so happy. I didn't know she had any problems at all.
もしかして千里ちゃんも同じ？
Maybe it's the same for you? Ooh, unfortunately not. Oh, yeah. Maybe Nono felt sympathetic to me. When I thought about that, I couldn't tell her the truth. And it made me feel a little better to think I wasn't the only one suffering. And then I started to hate myself. She starts out with lies, of course. It's Senri. Nono's honestly worried about me. Nono's an honest person. Things Senri isn't. How could I feel that way? But still, I was jealous of Nono. She was cheerful, pretty, smart, and everyone liked her. I looked up to her more with each passing day. I started to think I wanted to be Nono, but that was never going to happen. The more I started to feel that way, the worse the experiments got. I never told anyone, but the word started to get around that I was going to some weird lab. My skin dried and cracked, my hair fell out. Eventually I stopped being able to move my legs like I wanted to. And then came the day, November 6th, 2009. I was undergoing another painful experiment that day. On my way back, I became dizzy and collapsed. I thought it was a side effect of the drugs they'd just given me, but it wasn't. Instead, they caused this massive disaster. Damn shame, right? Everyone on the streets of Shibuya had fallen over and was crawling on the ground like me. The buildings collapsed, the trees on the side of the road fell over, cars and trucks lost control and collided. The whole city turned to hell in an instant. I didn't know what had happened. The experiments had caused my legs to shrivel up and I couldn't walk right. Someone in the fleeing crowd pushed me over and I had to drag my wounded body home. Mom was dead. It had happened so fast. She had the same self-satisfied smile on her face she always had. This is for your sake. This is a sign of your faith. Those were the words she'd always said when she made me suffer. And now she was gone from the world without suffering at all. I felt a feeling I'd never felt before. It wasn't sorrow or loss. A while later, someone came from the facility to tell me Dad had died as well. He'd been unlucky enough to be in Shibuya for a meeting during the earthquake. Ooh, I didn't feel sad. At the same time, people from the facility told me to evacuate to the hospital. They'd been showing me these strange pictures, and they'd seen some kind of symptoms develop, they'd said. They didn't want to lose a valuable guinea pig. Even with all that going on, I could tell what they were thinking. Mom was dead, Dad was dead. Did I still have to undergo more experiments? Did I still have to suffer? There was nothing left to tie me down anymore. I smacked away the big hand that stretched out for me and ran. I kept running, not even knowing where I was going. I still don't know how I ran on those legs, but somehow I found the strength. I didn't want to go back to that lab. I wouldn't either. Good plan, good plan. The minute you can, leave. Good plan. Ever. That was enough to keep me going. After I turned down many corners and scrambled over a bunch of rubble, I found her. No. Even buried in the rubble, she was beautiful.
千里ちゃん。 ちゃん、大丈夫？今助けてあげるからね。
Nono, are you okay? I'll save you. I couldn't just let her die. Nono was my best friend. But apparently her wish was not to save her. And more than anything, she was the person I wanted to be. If she died here, I'd have nothing left to live for. I desperately tried to move the rubble off of her and save her. But I was too weak. That's right. There was nothing I could do. I didn't want to abandon her. There was nothing I could do.
痛い。痛いよ。センリちゃん。
It hurts, Henry. As more time passed, blood started to trickle through the rubble and her voice began to get smaller.
お母さん。お母さんは？
Where's Mom? I looked around and saw a grown-up's feet poking out from under the rubble behind her. They seemed like a woman's feet.
お母さんなら無事よ。
Your mom's just fine.
よかっ
I'm glad.
た。だからののちゃんも。
You'll be fine too, Nono. I don't think Nono's making it.
じゃ
Sorry, Nono. We'll call it true Nono. Center. Nono grabbed my arm. Her hand was surprisingly cold.
いやだよ。私死にののちゃん。
I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
ごめんね。
Sorry, Mom.
お母さん。私
I can't.
もう。
Tears poured down her face as she slowly closed her eyes.
ののちゃん。
Nono? The strength left her hand.
のの
Nono?
ちゃん。
Nono? Nono? No, no, no,
の
no,
の
no.
ちゃん。ののちゃん。
No matter how much I cried, no matter how hard I hit her cheek, she didn't move. I cried. Nono's death meant the death of the person I looked up to. It meant the death of my hope. It may as well have meant my own death.
ののちゃん。私ののちゃんになりたかった。
No, I wanted to be. Even in death, she was pretty, but what about me? My hair was a mess. My face covered in soot. I must have cut my face somewhere too.
どうせ死ぬなら私が死ねばよかったんだ。
Ah, sorry, Senri. Sorry, Senri. You made the fatal mistake of wishing for death in a novel or series. Everyone knows the people who want to die don't die, and the people who want to live die. If someone was going to die, it should have been me. I should have died instead of Nono.
私が死んでしまえばよかったんだ。
And then I saw something strange. It was like the wings of a huge bird soaring through the skies. Oh, so that's what it's supposed to remind her of. A bird's wing? Yeah, that kind of works. Alright. Or the hands of a holy mother coupled in prayer. That's closer. Organic yet inorganic. I was so entranced by it, I didn't even realize that someone had come up to me. Did you see a little girl around here? She was about your age, looks kind of glum. It was one of the men who'd come to take me to the lab. When I didn't say anything, he sighed and walked off. It didn't make sense. Weren't they looking for me? Huh? I gasped in surprise and saw something. That's something I saw in the corner of my eye. It was a piece of glass embedded in the wall of a collapsed building. I could see Nono reflected in the pieces, but Nono was right at my feet. The Nono in the glass was looking at me in surprise. I took a step closer, and so did the girl in the glass. I tilted my head, and so did Nono.
嘘。
No way. I'd turned into Nono. I looked around for something else that would show my reflection. I picked Nono's phone off the ground. and used it to take a picture of myself. I was Nono. I couldn't believe it, but it was real.
私が
But you know how to unlock Nono's phone?
ノノちゃん
Take a picture? Really? You're Nono? What had happened? Did it have something to do with that headache? Or the weird sword I'd seen? Maybe it was because of those awful experiments, but it didn't matter.
ノノちゃんになれば
I can stay a Nono. If I could become Nono, I wouldn't have to do any more experiments. I'd be free of the chains of pain, sorrow, and loneliness that bound Senri. I could spread my wings as Nono and fly into a beautiful blue sky. Flames were already spreading from the collapsed building.
ノノちゃん
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
ごめんね
She's super dead. It's okay. She's super dead story-wise. Theoretically, you'd probably still be alive, just unconscious for several minutes after you... However. I apologized again and again as I dragged Nono's body out of the rubble and put it in the fire. A smell of burning hair and flesh stung my nostrils, and it was only then I realized what I was doing. I quickly tried to grab her body and pull her out, but it was too late. Soon her body turned to black ash, and I passed out. When I woke up at the hospital, a new life as Nono Karus awaited me. All my classmates, including Kawahara, came to visit me. They were nicer to me than they'd ever been to Senri Minamisawa. Fortunately, nobody questioned if I was really Nono. Nono had been buried as Senri Minamisawa based on what I told the police. Even in that unprecedented disaster, I still thought they might get more suspicious. I was astonished at how easy it was. For a while afterwards, I felt guilty at how worried everyone was about me. I was terrified they'd find out. My personality in particular wasn't something I could quickly change. I'm sure a lot of things I said struck people as wrong, but time was on my side. Everyone simply decided I was traumatized at the loss of my mother and friend and was actually even nicer to me. At some point, I got used to pretending to be Karus. I mastered the role and stopped feeling guilty. Soon, I really was Nono. That was the first time I saw the boy in the coma named Takuru Miyashiro. Coma Boy, that's our name. Or Coma Boy. After that, I was taken in by Albadorn. And then Yui and Yuto came. Takuru came, still in his coma. I took care of him every day. I nursed him. We fought. Soon we opened up to each other. And we became a family. Takuru left the dorm. We became a family again. We stopped being a family. And in the end, I stopped being Nono. I was back to being Senri, the girl who lied to her family for years. But...
じゃあ私はどうすればよかったの
Not lie when you're confronted with it, maybe? Was I supposed to go back to the lab as Senri Minamisawa? No, there's no lab there, you're safe. Be experimented on as a gigalomaniac? Spend my days suffering in that damp building? Without anyone ever loving me? And die as a guinea pig with no happy memories, no warmth at all? Was that what I was supposed to do? I mean, when you're confronted with obvious evidence and there's someone who clearly knows the truth, you should probably not lie to your friends about it.
だったら私は
That's probably a good start.
何のために生まれてきたの
Born. Oh, well. Make your own decisions. I wanted to live. Make your own decisions. I wanted to be happy. Make your own decisions. That was all. Have you ever considered making your own decisions, Nono? I knew it too. I knew it was all a lie. All the smiles, all the kindness, the friendship, it was all for Nono. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for Senri. Again, several people haven't even known the real Nono. They've just known the fake, and they like the fake. I don't know what's wrong with you. Takuru's voice echoed in my mind.
嘘だったんだな。最初から全部嘘だったんだ。家族だって言ったのも。
It was all a lie, wasn't it? Right from the start? A lie when you said we were family? A lie when you said you cared about me?
信じられるわけないだろ。今さら何も信じられるわけない。
I can't believe you. I can't believe anything you say now. I feel like that's entirely your fault. If he knew the real me, if he knew Senri, would he accept me?
ねえタクル私はどうすればいいの
Tell me, Takuru, what am I supposed to do?
これからどうすればいいのかな
What am I supposed to do now? Does she get stabbed by If she gets stabbed by Sarika, I'm waiting for like the sudden grim twist that most of the other endings had. I still don't care for Senri / Nono. What can I do now? But I feel like I'm gonna be disappointed by them like actually giving us a happy ending here. What was important to me?
私は
I There seems to be no external threat here, so I'm trying to figure out what the external threat's going to be, or is it just going to be all internal? It did turn into like a like show about domestic life and drama like that, so having external threats is kind of weird in the first place. But it started with them, so maybe they'll come back? I'm thinking not. I'm thinking it's just going to be internal drama. I took a bite from a simple meal of margarine and toast. There was nothing else. There wasn't the usual meal of crisp lettuce, or juicy tomatoes, or tasty hot dogs, or eggs cooked just the way we liked them. Hot dogs are a very complicated meal, I'll have you know. You have to put the hot dogs in a pot and boil water. It's very difficult. Most people can't do it. Extremely difficult. It's just plain toast and milk. But that's what they're having. Plain toast and milk. Not any... Well, butter counts as a flavor. Butter actually tastes pretty good. Not very healthy, but it tastes good. Yuto was ignoring the toast and watching me carefully. He timidly opened his mouth.
ねえ、タクル兄ちゃん。
I knew exactly what he was going to say before he said it.
のの姉ちゃん、どこ行っちゃったの？
Where did Nono go? Ooh, you shouldn't call her Nono. It's Senri, and he asked me that many times over the last day. But we're Takuru and we don't tell people things, which makes us look worse, but we don't give a shit.
だから、友達のところに泊まりに行ったって。
Told you, she went to stay with a friend.
嘘だよ。
She's staying with my good friend Gen, the homeless man. You're lying. Yuto cut me off before I could finish.
そんなの、嘘だよ。のの姉ちゃんが僕たちに何も言わずに友達のところに泊まりに行くなんて。
That's a lie. Nono wouldn't go over to a friend's house without saying anything to us. Oh, but she just did. She just did.
ゆうとくん。
Yuto. I didn't expect them to believe it either. I would insist they believe it because that's how Karus works, and that's how Karus believes families should function. I didn't expect them to believe it either, but I wasn't sure if I could tell them the truth. Even if I did, they wouldn't believe it. How could I expect them to believe she was actually a girl named Senri who'd taken her place using something called gigalomaniac powers? What? Uki is a gigalomaniac, you dumb fuck. We knew that in this route. That's how she escaped her containment at the investigative agency, whatever it's called. But apparently he's like, who'd believe magic powers exist? Because we're no longer in the magical mystery genre. We're in the domestic life genre, or the domestic drama genre. So nobody believes that superpowers exist except for me. It was better to not tell them the truth. It's better not to tell them. That's right, there's nothing I could do. I mean, this is Takuru. He's the person who never tells anybody anything and just sits there and lets them come to whatever conclusions they want to. So, it doesn't surprise me. If the truth wasn't going to make anyone happy, it's better not to tell them. No secrets. That was just a means to an end. I'd known that. But I still couldn't accept it. As a family, we have nothing strong to bind us together. We're just a group of people living under the same roof, and that promise was a symbol of what bound us as a family, that's all. That's why I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to accept that she'd lied to me.
ねえ、タクル兄ちゃん。
I'm not lying, because people who lie aren't part of our family. Oh, burn! Hey, Big Brother Takuru, why are you lying? That's right, I was lying to Yuto and Yamazoe. But I didn't have the right to criticize Nono. Or did I have the right to criticize Nono? To criticize Senri? I mean, based on her own rules, you're not lying to anyone. You're telling the truth. It's just the truth you want people to believe. Did I have the right to live as a family? Maybe.
タクル兄ちゃんってば。
Fuck, you're just really bad at lying. Shut up.
クルスは
she went to
友
a
達の
friend's
ところに
house
泊まりに行ったって言ってるだろ。
just cause it's Gens. I stood up and headed for the door.
タクルさん、どこへ？
Tucker, where are you going?
タクル兄ちゃん。
I shut the front door as if to block off his cries. Outside, it looked like it was gonna rain. Of course, I hadn't brought an umbrella, and even if I did, I wouldn't feel like using it. What was Karus doing? Was she keeping out of the rain? I laughed a little. He was always the one who told me to take an umbrella when I went out. Why are we here and not at the homeless apartment? I didn't think I went there because I thought Karus was there. Maybe just a part of me did. I was the one who told her we weren't a family. But maybe I'd come here anyway because I was seeking a small piece of what we had before. Karus wasn't here, but there were still signs of her warmth. Her room hadn't changed since the first time I'd come to the dorm. There were just a few more things in it. Karus never spent any money on herself. Of course, part of the reason was that we didn't have any money, but even when we did, she would use it on me, Yui, Yuto, or Dad. Lately, I told her to get herself some nice jewelry or something, and she said she didn't need it.
私はクルスノノ。ノノって呼んで。よろしく、タクル。
I'm Nono Karus. Call me Nono. Nice to meet you, Takaru.
なに、どうしたの？返事は？
What's wrong? Where's your answer?
慣れ慣れしくしない
Don't
で
act like we're friends.
え？
Quite the edgy line.
その僕たちは会ったばかりだろ。会ったばかりの相手を呼び捨てに、それも名前で呼び捨てにするなんて。それじゃま
We
るで
just
ド
met.
キュンみた
Only
いじゃん。
idiots call each other by their first names after they just met. Yeah. Am I a wrong sider or an idiot?
あなた、友達いないでしょ。
You don't have any friends, do you? It's true. What? What?
そういう考え方してたら、友達なんてできないわよ。
If you think that way, you'll never make any friends.
大きなお世話だ。僕は別に友達なんて。
Nobody asked you. I don't need friends. That sounds like the Takuro we know.
慣れ慣れしいじゃなくて、親しくよ。
Also, I'm not acting like we're friends. I'm being friendly.
私たちは今日から家族なの。だから親しくして当然。でしょ？
From now on, we're family. So of course, I'm going to be friendly, right? You don't say no to Karuz. Well, right-siders try to say no but fail. Guess you have to be a wrong-sider to be able to have an opinion. They're just sitting there being silent.
タクル？
Takaru?
なんでさっきからずっと見てるんだよ。そこで黙って見てるくらいなら。
Are you just staring? If you're gonna stare, you can help. Phrasing.
それとも楽しいのか。着替えすら一人でできないのを見てて笑ってるんだろ。落とした服も拾えなくておかしいんだろ。
Or are you having fun watching me try to get dressed and fail? I bet it's hilarious watching how I can't even pick up the shirt I dropped off the ground. Probably is. Probably is kind of funny.
あんなことが起きる前にはこれくらい普通にできたんだよ。
Damn it, I used to be able to do this before the earthquake.
それなのになんでできないんだよ。
Why can't I do it?
だよ。
気は済んだ。
Are you done?
私だって手伝ってあげたい。だけど父さんも言ってたでしょ？日常のことから少しずつできるようにならなきゃって。
I want to help, but remember what Dad said? You need to start by learning how to do your daily activities on your own. Oh, that sucks. Physical
今は
therapy
辛いだろうけど、
sucks.
今頑張ることがきっと未来のあなたにつながるわ。だからね、もう一回やろう。
It may hurt now, but everything you do now will help you in the future. So let's try again, okay?
でも
大丈夫。私がずっとついててあげるから。
Don't worry, I'll be with you the whole time. The endlessly cheerful Senri. Who apparently just had... Oh?
箸使えるようになったじゃない。
Takuru, you did it, Takuru. You can use chopsticks now. He went from being unable to put on his clothing to being able to use chopsticks in like a year. I'm kind of jealous, honestly, because I still can't use chopsticks for a long period of time. Like, halfway through a meal, my hand starts cramping. It gets really really frustrating to work with. And this guy went from being unable to put a shirt on, cause his coordination's so screwy, to being able to use chopsticks with minimal at all, let alone with minimal effort. Damn. I'm a little bit jealous, Takuru. I get it. Get off me. I almost choked. Sorry. I was just so happy. I'm just eating a meal on my own. It's not that big a deal, Nono. Oh yeah?
大げさなんかじゃない。だって私知ってるもの。あなたがこれまでどれだけリハビリ頑張ってきたか。
Oh, but it is a big deal. I know how hard you worked at your physical therapy to get to this point.
おめでとう、タクル。よく頑張ったわね。
Congratulations, Takuru. You worked hard.
ほら、お前らちゃんと並べ。
Come on, line up. Oh right, serial killer dad. Forgot about him.
この辺りで大丈夫かな？
Is this about right?
おう、ユウトはもうちょっと内側に入れ。
Yuto, get a little closer to the inside. This will be the picture they took on the stairs,
お
right?
父さんはこの空いてるスペースに入ってね。
You go in the open space, serial killer man.
よし。それじゃあ
Let's
行く
do
ぞ。
this then. Let's do this. Leroy! Oh, wait, wrong game.
ど
Oh,
うし
wait.
たタクル？
What is it, Takuru?
僕のスマホでもいいかな。
Can I take a photo with my phone too? Just one?
おう、早くしろ。
Alright, sure, hurry up.
ここを押せばタイマーが作動するから。
If you hit this button, it starts the timer.
お？どこだ？
Where?
ねえ、まだ撮らないの？友達との約束に遅れちゃうよ。
You done yet? I'm gonna be late to meet my friend.
ああ、いいよ、僕がやるから。父さんはそっちに。
It's fine. I'll do it myself. You get over there, serial killer man.
おう。
Okay.
取られちゃったね。
Taking over for you?
タグ、ああいう新しい機械はどうもな。
These newfangled techno machines, I just can't handle them. He's lying to everyone.
それじゃあ、
Alright,
行くぞ。
here we go.
赤いの点滅し始めたよ。
The red light's flashing. Oh no.
タクル、早く早く。
Tucker, hurry. Anyone reasonable just sets like a 30-second timer.
分かってるって。
I know.
ほら、みんな。
Come on, everyone, smile.
チーズ。
Easy. We get our smile. Alright. We really were a family. We may not have been related by blood, but as long as we were here, no matter what anyone said, we were a family.
いい？私たちの間では隠し事はしないこと。血はつながっていないけど、私たちは本当の家族以上に家族なんだから。
Listen, we don't keep secrets. We may not be related by blood, but we're more of a family than any real family. We don't keep secrets is literally like the first sentence in this line. Well, the second sentence. She said listen is the first one, but still. She used to say that all the time. What had she been thinking when she said those words? Then I saw what looked like a piece of paper under the bed. I reached my hand under her and picked it up. It was a picture. There were 2 girls and a boy. The boy was Kawahara. Nono Caruso was in the middle, smiling. And to the side, there was another girl, her face scribbled out. was the girl we'd seen in the lab. It was the girl who begged us for help. If every day was like that for her. I couldn't bear to stay in Carusa's room anymore, so I left.
Huh?
Oh. I went outside but stopped when I heard someone below the stairs. I thought it might be Carus, but it wasn't.
Miyashiro.
Why is this guy so antagonistic to us? I know. It's like he's jealous of Nono. He's jealous that Nono slash Minami Soa likes us more, but he's such a dick for no reason. He's like the generic he's like the most generic antagonist. Childhood friend 1 2 3 4. Jealous childhood friend 1 2 3 4. Alright. Kawahara saw me, his face tensed up as he approached.
Kawahara-kun.
Kawahara, what are you? Yeah, what are you doing here? Oh, he's attacking us again. I forgot how violent he was. He suddenly grabbed me by the collar and slammed me into the wall. What's going on? What do you mean?
とぼけるな。クルスがいなくなったってのはどういうことだって聞いてるんだ。
Don't lie to me. Why did Kurus disappear?
どうしてそ
How
れ
did he...
さっきお前の家に
I went to your house.
そんなことは
Oh,
どうだっ
like,
ていい。
alright, stalker man. Doesn't matter. Where'd
クル
Kurus
スはど
go?
こへ行ったんだ。
The fuck am I supposed to know? He probably went to the apartment and got it out of Yuto or Yamazoe. I was scared he might have... Worried he might have scared Yuto, but he pulled Tedder on my collar and I couldn't speak. This guy's very violent for, ostensible student council vice president. Miyashiro, you remember what I said before, right? I mean, now I just tell her, hey, it's not actually... It's not actually Kurus, it's Minami Sawa. Fuck you. Except Kurus is too arrogant to say anything.
そう言ったよな。
I said if anything happened to Kurus, you'd regret it. Don't tell me you forgot. Joke's on you, it's not Kurus, so I'm safe. I'm safe, baby! Oh wait, Dekaru's not the kind of person to brag. He's kind of just gonna take his beating and be quiet, because he's better than you. He'd said that, but...
川原君には関係ないだろ。
This has nothing to do with you, Kawahara.
なんだと
What?
これは僕たち家族の問題だ。
It's a family problem, it has nothing to do with you.
関係
Apparently only right-siders get beat up too. Curious how this works. His fist hit my face several times before I could finish my sentence.
ふざけんな。
Ah, shut the hell up. Okay, that's the new translation of Fuzakenna. Alright. It's such a versatile phrase. It can be used for literally any line of dialogue in English. I was terrified when I saw how bloodshot his eyes were.
何が家族だ。関係ない。俺に言わせりゃ関係ないのはお前の方だ。
Family, it's got nothing to do with me. If you ask me, it's got nothing to do with you. This guy's very violent. This time he kicked me and I fell backward into a puddle of water. Why is it that we're the one who's suffering when we're getting lied to? Alright, Dekaru's better than you. Another sharp kick landed as I tried to stagger back to my feet. I feel irritated, but I feel like I'm mostly irritated at this because I'm Dekaru's the viewpoint character and I wish it was in the other guy's shoes. Oh well. It hit me in the solar plexus and knocked all the air out of my lungs.
お前なんかよりお前よりも俺の方がクリスとの時間はずっと長いんだよ。
I spent so much more time with Karus than you did.
気を引くような真似しやがっ
And
て。
you come along and try to take her. Again, jealous boyfriend lines. Like, or sorry, not jealous boyfriend, jealous childhood friend or friend lines, right? I mean, I'm kind of glad Karus slash Nono slash Minami Sawa isn't with this guy. I feel like he'd be a terrible boyfriend. He does anything he doesn't like. He just beats the shit out of her. He'd be like that kind of boyfriend. It's like, oh, it's a hot dogs tonight. You know I hate hot dogs. And the fists just start flying. Oh, oh, an hour late on the laundry? Ah, no time for that. I got no time for this shit. Fists start flying every time anything bad happens.
笑わせんな。クルスはな、同情でしょうがなしにお前のことを弟だって言ってただけなんだよ。
Family with a guy like you? Don't make me laugh. Karus just said you were her brother because she took pity on you.
それを調子に乗りやがって。何か。
You took it seriously? How come it's not my problem? Well, Kawahara, you're a shitty person, so it doesn't really matter. The Kuru's pretty awful too, but oh shit, what happened? Ah, I must have accidentally pressed the, I didn't press skip, I must have pressed the normal button. Alright, his fist cut through the air and smashed into my cheek. I smelled something strange in the back of my nose as the flesh from my cheek dug into my face. Damn it, I didn't care if he was hitting me, no. I was the cause of the return of the new generation madness, and I'd heard Karus Minamisawa in a fit of rage. Maybe I deserved it, but it pissed me off I couldn't fight back. I mean, you're too much of a right-sider to fight back. You know so much more than him, it just wouldn't be fair, so you'll just take your beating and accept it like the other 6 times. Oh, this is like the second time this guy's beat us up, and we're just like, I know more than him. I'm not gonna fight this guy. He's beneath me. What's so funny? Nothing, just... Oh, is he actually gonna say... Is he gonna have a comeback? Yeah, let's see. Takuru, are you gonna have a comeback? Just what? Just say it! Say it! Ah, there we go. Another kick. Alright. Just like I thought, the slightest provocation set him off. It was just a sign of his stupidity. There we go! That's the Takuru I know! He's like, oh, this guy's so stupid. He's beating the shit out of me. He's so dumb. I'm better than him. The guy's beating me up. It's just a sign of how stupid he is. What a line! What's wrong? If you're not gonna say it, I'll hit you again. Fine. If you really want to know, I'll tell you. There we go. It's actually gonna be comeback time for Takuru. After like 5 minutes of being beaten up. Each time I spoke, I tasted something metallic in my mouth, but I kept speaking anyway. Karus doesn't give a damn about you. That's his comeback? God, come on, man. This guy is like so elitist sometimes. Even his comebacks suck. Like, I'm not gonna tell you anything about the truth. I'm just gonna be like, Karus doesn't give a fuck about you. Like, really, dude? That's your reaction? Alright.
Nani?
What? I think she actually hates you. What do you mean? Did she tell you that? But I can tell. The hell? Kick. Don't lie when you don't even have any proof. Is that your way of getting back at me? My chest, my sides, my back. Oh, I've got proof. Tell me. It must have bothered him, because once I started to talk, he stopped hitting me. He was a small man. You hated Senri, right? Alright. Does he say, the police literally gave me DNA evidence that Karus is dead and Minamisawa took her place? That would be the comeback we're all waiting for. Let's see if he can do it. Minamisawa, of course. Anyone would hate that creepy girl, who cares? Ah, this is like, come on, man. Come on, man. Don't go with like hearsay. This isn't proof. Anyone could be like, oh yeah, you think she'd like someone like you? Like, come on, man. She knew all about how you hated her. Do you think she'd trust someone like that? You're the one who she was only friends with out of pity. I mean, that was obviously just going to enrage him. I don't even know what Takuru was thinking, but again, he's too superior to tell him anything informative or provide any evidence, so it kind of works. This is the way Takuru would argue with someone because he thinks everyone's beneath him and doesn't deserve the truth. Kind of funny. Pity, don't you lie to me. At this point, I was basically a punching bag. It felt like burning irons were being pressed all over my body. My sense of balance was thrown off and the pain kept me from thinking. Everything stopped seeming real. I started losing the ability to think clearly. Sorry, Takuro, you've never had that one. Maybe it would be better if I just... Kawahara spat on my cheek, but the rain washed it away. That's good, that wouldn't be clean. Oh, you done already? You done already, buddy? I forced myself to stand through the pain. Stand through the pain. You're still... What's wrong? I'm still alive. Why not just kill me?
Nani? What? ほら、僕が憎いんだろ。ムカつくんだろ。だったら殺せばいいじゃないか。
And you'd think beating someone to within an inch of their life is illegal, but this guy seems to be able to consistently get away with it due to plot armor. He actually has more plot armor than Takuru, amusingly enough, as nothing bad happens to him. Oh, Takuru's actually died a couple times, depending on the route. Come on, you hate me, right? I piss you off? Hurry up and kill me! Come on, I'm not fighting back! That's right, this is all my fault. What happened with Sarika? What happened with the murders? Come on, kill me! Just kill me, damn it! And what happened with Karus? So... Kill me, please. The hell? You're crazy. The best thing is Kawahara hasn't been given anything to make him seem like this is the wrong statement. Like it seem like this is the wrong statement. He hasn't actually provided any proof. He's been like, "Fuck you, she hates you." Like, how is that proof? You're like, "Oh, I have proof. She fucking hates you. Fuck you." Like, all right. Thinking clearly, Takuru's never fucking had that, man. It's so great. A strange, nervous smile formed on his face as I approached him, and then he turned around and fled into the pouring rain. After I couldn't see him anywhere, I fell to my knees on the ground. I wish Karuya suffered, but I wish Karuya suffered for all her lies, but it's okay. We can suffer. I spit up a hunk of blood, and then let the rain fall down from the dull gray sky. What? I don't know. We didn't actually make any terrible decisions. I mean, we're kind of consistent with our character, who's kind of a dumbass. Why didn't he kill me? I never should have been alive at all. Then this never would have happened. Yui and Dad would still be alive. Sarika wouldn't have hurt anyone, and she would have been able to start her new life as Nono if it weren't for me.
わかった。あなたのその望み、叶えてあげる。
Alright, if that's your wish, I'll grant. Felt something freezing cold and sharp at my neck. I didn't have to turn around to see who it was. Oh no.
Taku.
Okay. Oh no, it was behind me, smiling happily as she put the blade to my neck.
タクの本当の望み。
You finally said what you really wanted, huh? How long have you been here, Onoe?
ずっといたよ。私はタクと一緒だもん。子供の頃からそうだったでしょ。いつだってずっと一緒。
The whole time. I'm always with you. I always have been ever since we were kids, right? I'm always with you.
ずーっとタクのそばにいて、タクがどうしてほしいのかを知る。そのためだけに生まれてきたんだもん。
I'm always with you, and I always know what you want me to do. That's the only reason I was born. Oh, so that was it. I finally understood who Sarika Onoe really was. She was truly a part of me.
尾上、
Onoe,
僕は。
大丈夫だよ。何も言わなくても私には分かってる。
you don't have to say a thing. I know. Slowly, her blade moved just an inch. I could feel a warm drop of liquid running down my neck.
それじゃあ行くね。
Okay, here I go.
Hmm.
Yeah. This is for the best. This is... I slowly closed my
さよ
eyes.
なら、タク。
Goodbye, Taku. The air shook a little. And there was the sound of something cutting through it. Alas, Karus just saved us. Without even feeling pain, I was saved by Karus. I heard the clash. That's right. Like I said, this is gonna disappoint. I already said earlier, I want the character to die, but it's gonna disappoint me by having Karus save him. Or it's gonna disappoint me by having him live out his life. Alas. Cold drops of rain were hitting my neck.
お前
I opened my eyes and saw Minami Sawa in front of me. Hey, look at that!
南沢、
Minami Sawa.
千里。
No, it was
タクル
Taku.
ノノ。
No, it was Nono.
クルスノノいや南沢千里
Nono Karus. No, Senri Minami Sawa.
お前、どうして。
What?
それに。
Why do you look
その
like that?
姿を。
It's the perfect disguise. I'm done
偽
lying.
るのはやめたのこれが私の南沢千里の本当の姿
This is who I am. I am Senri Minami Sawa. Oh, this is Senri Minami Sawa, my bad.
これ
Even
で
if I
全
lose
てを
everything
失う
now,
ことになった
I
と
don't
して
want
も
to lie. I don't want to hide anything from you, from my family.
嘘はつきたくないから家族に隠し事はしたくないからだからたとえこの姿であなたに嫌われたとしても私は
Called how the story was ending and
本
it's
当
still
の私でいる
irritating.
ことに決めたの
Even if you hate me, I've decided to be who I really am. Nono stood in front of me with the D sword in her hand.
南沢千里今さら何をしに来た
Oh, that's an interesting way to double grip it. Man, it must be really hard to avoid stabbing yourself. Look at the size of that D sword. So that's like to the right of her right leg, right? And she's holding it in two hands. That must be super awkward if you ever want to change which side you're blocking on. You have to like hold the sword out, move your legs, and pray no one puts any pressure downwards on the blade or you like stab yourself. A weird ass sword to be sure. But hey, nice drawing. Sarika looks a little bit crazy here, but I think that's the intention. What do you want? It's too late.
あなたなら聞かなくても分かってるんでしょあなたの手からタクルを守りによ
You know, without me even saying it right, I'm here to save Takuru from you.
その醜く無様な姿で
In that ugly form.
そうよこれが
That's right.
偽らざる私の姿だから
This is who I really am. Are you any better at fighting in this form?
そうか
I see, it's funny, but... I mean,
でも
are you magically going to become better at fighting? Because I believe you lose in all situations, right?
魔をするな。お前の出番はもう終わった。
Don't get in my way. Your role in this game is finished. Alright. Oh, weird. A claw swipe. Nono flinched back in fear as the blade sliced through the raindrops. Her expression twisted in pain. Nono, you... It was only then I saw the blood and cut on her shoulder. That's rough, one cut. You're still calling me that?
その名前で呼んでくれるんだ。
Forget that, your shoulder.
肩。
Note that our protagonist, in the depths of his despair, didn't immediately leap in to save her from any attack. So he's still like an Ito kind of guy.
さっきちょっとかすっちゃったみたい。
I guess he got scratched a little.
でもこのくらい。
何が
The rain is like flickering in and out sometimes. It's kind of unusual.
邪魔をするなと言っている。
I told you to stay out of
偽
this
物
thing.
だ。
Oh
私はも
boy.
うクルスノノの偽物なんかじゃない。私は南沢千里。
The
本
power
物の
of
南
the
沢
truth.
千里よ。
I'm not the fake Nono Cruz anymore. I'm Senri, the real Senri Unamisawa. It was a type of resolve. You could call it determination. The determination to abandon the life she lived for years and be reborn anew.
そんなことどっちだっていい。私は宮代拓の望みを叶えてあげるだけ。だからお前は邪魔なんだよ。
Doesn't matter who you are. All you have to do is grant a Kuru's wish and you're in the way.
タクルの望み。
Takuru's wish.
そうだ。宮代拓は
That's right.
自分なんていなければいいと思った。消してくれと思った。だ
He
から
wanted to
私が
disappear. He
その
wanted
望
me
み
to
を
make him
叶えてやる。
disappear. So I'm going to grant his wish.
なぜならそれが私。
Because that's
尾上
why
製
I
菓に
exist.
存在する理由だから。だからそこをどけ。
So move. Alright, Sarika. Go, Sarika! Go, Sarika!
ダメよ。私が許さない。
I won't let you. Sarika's somehow not winning. Sarika's sword was designed to attack, but Nono's D-sword was heavy, and it hurt as she was. It seemed hard for her to use. Nono wasn't Nono anymore. Anyway, she was Senri. She was feeling the pain from all the terrible experiments she suffered over the years. Sarika's attack slowly started to push Nono back, but Nono loses this fight anyway. Normally, so if she pulls it out, don't get in my
タ
way.
クルは私の弟よ。あなたに殺させなんかしない。
Takuru's my little brother. I won't let you kill him. No,
そんなの。
it doesn't. The police will, as usual, arrive 10 minutes late.
お前こそ家族を壊した元凶だろうが。
You're the one who destroyed your family. Oh, that's true. That's true. Nice. But still,
どけ。
go away. Good. The blade shook like thunder. A swirl of wind appeared around Sarika's
ど
feet.
けって言ってるんだよ。
I said go away. Nice. The fierce blow knocked Nono to her knees. Her tiny, thin neck was defenseless and exposed.
死ねよお前。
Die, you. A cold voice and a white flash. Alright. Oh no way. I pointed the weapon I'd pulled from the Sea of Chaos, feeling its heft in my hand.
タク、どうして？
Taku, what? Look, you're making Sarika cry. How dare you do this, Hikaru? It's so mean.
死にたいって言ったのはタクだよ。
You're the one who said you wanted to die.
ああ、
I did,
言った。
but I can't make up my own mind about anything. I'm sorry. You got spawned by someone who's like a fucking schizo. They don't know what they want. Yeah,
じゃあどう
してその女をかばうの？そいつはタクを騙してたんだよ。
Why are you protecting her? She lied to you. I don't know either, man. I mean, I probably wouldn't kill her for lying to me, but I probably wouldn't stab Sarika.
そうだな。
Although she did kill a bunch of people, so maybe it's for the best. Yeah, you're right.
だったら
でも
Maybe it wouldn't be that easy to forgive her for lying to me, but everything she'd done for us, she'd done as part of our family, not as Nono or Senri. She'd given us her love. And it was real love. It probably didn't matter what her name was, or where she was born, or what she looked like. As I said, obvious conclusion. What I really wanted, it was to once more.
そうか。
I see then. So
そ
that's
れ
your
が
wish.
宮代拓の望
Takuru
み
Mishio. That
だったら
Sorika looked up and smiled, then readied her weapon.
その望みごと葬ってやる。
I'll bury that wish in you with it. I feel like you've already lost, Sorika. But it's okay. Good sword. The D sword became a hurricane of light as she attacked me.
タクル。
大丈夫。
I'm fine. It was one thing to say it. I was still feeling the pain from where Kawahara hit me, and just knocking back Sarika's attacks was enough to make my body scream.
どうした？偉そうなこと言ってその程度か。
What's wrong? All that talk, and that's all you've got? Shining beams collided, scattering rainbows everywhere. Sword and sword collided like two magnets drawn to each other.
まだまだ。
I'm not done yet. My lungs hurt like they were on fire. Sarika found a hole in my defenses and attacked. Her D-sword knocked mine upwards and threw me off balance. The glowing weapon went straight for my exposed neck. I put a hand up to protect my throat. And Taku! The inside of my left wrist was torn open. Oh, you're dead. Okay, you got like 2 minutes. I felt the heat before I felt the pain. The warm rain fell down and spread the blood into a puddle at my feet. I bit down on my teeth hard to keep from passing out, then tried to judge the distance between us again.
どうした？やられる一方だぞ。そんなことで。
What's wrong? Just gonna let me hurt you then? The fierce blade struck again. I just barely managed to move out of the way in time. At this rate, she would kill me. Like Sarika said, if I didn't attack her, this was only going to end one way. But the pain, exhaustion, rain, and sweat were already blurring my vision. My strength was at its limits. If I could just land one hit. One hit!
どうタク？楽しい？楽しいよね。
What's wrong, Taku? This is fun. This is fun, right? It's fun for me. It's fun to read. I'm enjoying it. I blocked her attack with the blade of my sword and threw her off balance. Just a little. The air of self-satisfaction vanished from her face and was replaced by fear. I didn't miss my chance. What I wanted was... It wasn't destruction, it was a future with Minami Sawa. That's right. That was my choice. I put all my strength and all my wishes into a single swing of the blade. Sarika raised her weapon right in front of me. A bluff? Was it a trap? No. If she countered now, there was no way I could... I saw her smile. And then... she fell to the ground. I could still feel the sensation in my hands. Red blood spread silently on the asphalt. Oh no, what? Oh no, is there to grant your wish, bro, if you want to play hero for Senri, then she's gonna die. Sarika knew exactly what I was gonna do. If she wanted to kill me, she could have. So why? Well, you can't be the hero if you don't have a villain. Okay. Was it fun?
楽しかった。
Sorry, oh no.
よね。私はタクが望む世界を見せてあげたい。それだけ。
Don't you right? I just want to give you the world you want, that's all.
おのえ
Onoe. Please don't die, Onoe. I like Onoe.
私はタクが望んで生まれた存在。でも今タクがそばにいてほしいのは
I was born because you wished for me, but it's not me you want by your side now. Sharika smiled at her faintly.
タクのことよろしくね。
Take care of Taku, okay?
セリカ。
Very good.
ごめんお
I'm
のえ
sorry, Onoe. This is my fault.
僕のせいでこんな。
ねえタク
Taku,
一つだけお願い。
do one thing for me. Oh. Anything. Anything.
僕にできることなら。
私を終わらせて。それができるのはタクだけだから。
End me. You're the only one who can.
タクル。
Takuru. Just like she asked, I took the D sword and pointed it at her body, but
どうしたの？
I can't. I can't.
できない。
しょうがない
You're
な。
so
タ
hopeless,
クは
Taku. She smiled happily and grabbed the blade with a shaking hand, and then
バイバイ。タク。
bye bye, Taku. The D sword went through her body without a sound.
おの
Oh no. That's pretty hardcore, Onoe. Damn. The girl I'd created, the girl who was always there for me, was surrounded by a cocoon of light, which vanished into thin air. The veil of rain that covered the sky vanished, leaving behind the stench on the asphalt. I looked up at the sky and saw a rainbow in the heavens. I could hear the crunching sound of footsteps on gravel going further into the distance.
のの
No, no.
見ないで。
Don't look at me. I was about to turn back, but stopped when I heard the rejection in her voice.
ごめんね、タクル。もう二度とあなたの前に姿を現したりしないから。
I'm sorry, Taku. You'll never see me again. What? What?
でもね、これだけは信じてほしいの。確かに私は嘘をついていたけれど、あなたたちのことを大切な家族だって思ってた。
I want you to believe one thing. I lied to you, but I always felt that you were part of my family.
お願いよ、
Please.
信じてくれる？
Please you believe me?
おの
No, no.
私はもうクルス・ノノじゃない。
I'm not Nono Cruz anymore. The footsteps started again. Nono was leaving. We would never see her again.
今までありがとう。さようなら。
Thank you for everything. Goodbye. I turned around and saw a small girl. She was facing away from me. It was the first time I'd seen her, but I'd seen her 1,000 times before.
のの
Oh no! I ran after her and grabbed her hand, forcing her to look at me.
いや、やめて。
Stop!
どうして
Why? Why?
だって私はノノちゃんじゃない。こんな醜い顔、タクルには見せたく
The
な
way
い。
this dialogue is ending, this scene ends with him kissing her. I'm not Nono. I don't want you to see this ugly face. I held her close as she squirmed and tried to look away.
ごめん
I'm sorry.
間違ってた。お前がクルスノノか南沢千里かなんて関係なかった。
Alas, we haven't actually seen anything that romantic in this series, so a hug might be the best we get. I was wrong. It didn't matter whether you were Senri or Nono. It didn't matter, obviously. Senri looked up at me in surprise, and for the first time I could see her face. It was different than Nono's. It didn't have her bright charm or bold features, but...
だってお前が僕の家族で
You're part of our family. You're important to me, and that doesn't change.
何も変わりはないんだから。
Tears fell from Senri's eyes. Memories came flooding back to me.
そうだよ。いつも僕を見てくれていたのは。
That's right. These are the eyes that were always watching me.
動けない僕を献身的に看病してくれたのも、辛く苦しいリハビリに時には励まし、
When I couldn't move and you took
時
care
に
of
は
me.
叱咤してくれたのも、
When my therapy hurt so much and you were there to scold me and encourage me.
僕のしてかすバカなことに本気で怒って本気で笑って、
When I did something stupid and you got mad, or
本
when
気
you
で泣い
laughed,
てくれたのも、
or when you cried for me.
いつだってそばで見守ってくれていたのはこの瞳だ。
These were the eyes
い
always
つだって
watching over
差
me.
し伸べてくれたのはこの
And these
小
were
さ
the
な手
hands
だ
that
っ
were
た。
always there for me.
全部
It was always you.
お前だった。確かにお前は嘘をついてた。クルス・ノノじゃなかったかもしれない。
Maybe you lied, maybe you weren't Nono, but
僕を絶望の闇から救ってくれたのは本物のクルス・ノノじゃない。
it wasn't the real Nono who saved me from the darkness. It was
お
you,
前
Sen.
だった。
That was the truth. Yeah, see? It only took us like... Actually, it wasn't that long. It was like an entire day, right? It was like 48 hours to come to this conclusion. That's not too bad. That was the truth. So,
私を
forgive me?
許してくれるの？
I nodded silently. And to think, it all could have been less painful if you hadn't if you hadn't consistently denied the truth. Even if I'm not Nono, obviously.
言っただろ。お前が僕の恩人で
I told you, right?
家族だってことは変わらない。
You're my savior. You're my family. Talk. I held her tight so that she would never go anywhere again, and I...
千里、
Sen. I said her name. Her real name.
何？
おかえり。
Welcome home. Yeah,
ただいま。
I'm back. I'm back. Alright, humans are temporal beings. This is clearly an epilogue. I think it was a philosopher named Heidegger who said that. A German philosopher born in 1889 and died in 76. A critic of metaphysics who used phenomenology to support his theory of ontology. He defined time as past, present, future, in which there are three equal, continuous, and infinite things. His theory says that the present is the principal axis upon which the past and future are decided, and time is created. Alright. Oh wow, almost. No, don't back out of the game. That would have been a disaster. In fact, let's save that. Let's make sure we don't accidentally do that and save. Alright. Time moves from the past to the future, and time is what rules over human lives. In that process, the past is lost, and new things are born. The return of the new generation madness gradually began to fade from people's memories. The girl named Sarika Onoe, who was a person of interest in the case, vanished. Without any firm evidence, it was impossible to know if she ever existed at all. The case came to an end without a satisfactory answer, and then... the four of us still lived in that cheap apartment.
ほら、ユウト。早く準備しないと遅れるわよ。
Her name is so much longer now. Here, Yuto. If you don't hurry, you'll be late.
ちょっと待ってよ。この番組終わったらやるから。
Wait a second. I'll get ready once this program's over.
そうやってテレビばっかり見て。ウキちゃんはもう準備できてるって。
All you have to do is watch TV. Uki's ready to go.
行ってきます。
Goodbye.
待って、
wait, I'll go
僕
too.
も行くよ。 いってらっしゃい。
Bye.
行ってきまーす。
Alright, bye, Yudo. Mornings were always busy like
た
this.
く、あんまりうるさくしてると。
Jeez, if you're too loud. Pounding on the wall was the other thing we'd gotten used to.
また後でうるさく言われるな。
She's gonna be mad again later.
しょうがないわね。また夜にクッキーでも焼いてお裾分けしとくわ。
Fine, I'll bake some cookies and take them to her this evening. A peace
頼む
offering.
よ。
I wonder how effective that is. Probably moderately effective. Thanks.
どうした？
I don't mind Senator Minami-sawa's appearance. I feel like she's lacking it somewhere, though. Lacking in certain assets that Nono had. Oh well. She still looks cute because we can't actually tell if there's scars on her, thanks to the wonderful samey rendition of skin on anime characters' faces. We can't actually see if her skin is actually flaking or covered in scars. So she just looks like a normal anime girl. But if you imagine her as not being incredibly beautiful, I guess maybe she's not. I guess maybe it's noticeable. I don't know. Maybe she shapeshifted into herself without any of her blemishes. Who knows? Shapeshifters, am I right? What's up? I never thought this day
ま
would
さ
come.
かこんな日が来るとは思ってなかったな。
Nono Karu's becoming Senri had created no end of problems. Of course, Yuto and Yamazoe weren't sure how to handle it at all. Her name and appearance were totally different. I knew it would be impossible for them to think of her as the same person. But inside, she was the same. She'd gone back to looking like Senri, sure. But she was still Nono, the cheerful, helpful girl who kept the household running. After a few days of living with her, both of them got used to the idea that Senri was their sister. Of course, they were family, but couldn't exactly tell everyone else Nono was actually another girl all along. So it ended up that Karus went to live with some very distant relatives, just as a new transfer student named Senri Minami-sawa came to the school. Oh my god. The poor... It was hard to rebuild relationships with her old pals from the ground up, but she pulled it off. I feel sorry for Kawahara. He's like, fuck, what? Of course, a few of them.
お、チャオス、宮代先輩、クルス。
Miyashiro, Karus.
有村さん。
Arimura.
あー、じゃなかった。
Ooh, that's wrong.
南沢先輩。
Minami-sawa.
お前な、いい加減慣れてくれよ。
Sheesh, when are you gonna stop doing that? When it stops being funny to tease Minami-sawa about that.
んなこと言ったって、そう簡単に行くもんじゃないですよ。ね
It's
え、
not
花。
easy though. You know, right, Hannah?
うん。
We told the people who knew about the case the real story.
つうかさ、3年なんだし、今さら無理して学校来なくてもよかったんじゃねえの？
You know, you're in your last year of school. Do you really have to go at all?
僕もそう言ったんだ
I
けど
said the same thing, but you probably need to go, right? At least get the
あ
exams.
のままみんなと別れてしまうのは寂しいじゃない？
It'd just be sad to lose touch with everyone.
そんなもんかね。
Maybe, I guess. Most of your high school friends you're gonna lose touch with anyway, though. I never would have taken a risk like that just to see the people in my class. Maybe it was just a sign of how she'd changed.
で、今日の部活は？
So what's our club activity for today?
悪い。今日はちょっと行くところがあって。
Sorry, we got somewhere to go today.
行くところ？
Somewhere to go?
ええ。
Yep, that's right, a mysterious place to
な
go.
になに？先輩方2人で？もしかして無
Thank
夫
you.
婦な
Thank
感
you,
じ？
Arimura. I was waiting for this. What, the two of you going somewhere together? Are you up to something naughty? That was Hannah, right? Yeah.
違うわよ。
It's
そ
something
うい
like
うん
that.
じゃなくて。
Press X to
わ
do
か
it.
ってますよ。まあ、たとえそうだとしても、一つ屋根の下に暮らしてるんだから、今更って感じだし。
You know, I know that. I mean, even if you were, the two of you live in the same apartment, so it feels like it's a little late for them.
たく。
Come on.
それよりタクル、
Anyway,
そろそろ。
ああ、そうだな。
You're right. We said goodbye to everyone and left. The sky was the same color it had been after the rain stopped on that day. We headed for...
Nono-chan.
It was a grave. Far from Shibuya in the suburbs, the body that had been originally buried as Senra Minamisawa had been quietly interned in the Carius family grave as Nono Carius. Nono Carius. She was a girl I knew well, but one I'd never actually met. Yeah, that's why I was like, why do you care? If your hero is Nono, you've never actually met her, you've only met Minamisawa. Senri put her hands together in silent prayer as she faced the cold grave. There was so much she hadn't been able to say, so much she wanted to say. Nono and Senri were finally talking to each other as different people now. The sin of using her. The sin of burying her. The sin of lying. She was already dead, who cares? The guilt from those sins would never go away. But still. It's not like you weren't both orphans anyway, right? I'm sorry, Nono. You had to carry that entirely on your back, so... There may be a lot of sad and painful things ahead of me. But I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna face them. Alright. I think that's the one thing I can do for you. The smoke from the incense rose towards the sky, blown about by the wind. And in the wind... I know you can do it, Senri. I thought I heard a voice. Everything that had happened so far was a mix of plots, misunderstandings, miscommunications, and successful efforts. Isn't that described literally anything in existence? A plot, a misunderstanding, miscommunications, successful efforts to achieve things? Whenever I wanted to cry, what I'd become? Will you keep watching over me from now on? Yeah. I'll take the hand of the girl next to me, feel her warmth, and walk with her together, just like she'd done for me, for the sake of tomorrow, and for the future. That's pretty good, huh? Alright. That's pretty good. Alright, so we're gonna skip this part. Hey, Tech. Did you have fun? I mean, I think I had fun. The ending was, like, slightly predictable once you saw where it was going, but it was still pretty good. We'll definitely have to check out the true ending, but I'm afraid we're gonna have to save that for next time.